All about being tough, and not only regarding football. That's the image of both cities. Tough. Steel, it was the foundation for America's growth. Oil, the fuel for the country's energy and power. The hardworking men of Pittsburgh and Houston share a common bond of aching muscles, dirt, sweat, and a day's work for a day's pay. On the football field, the Oilers and Steelers have shared a rivalry brimming with history, one full of memorable faces, character and characters, courage, and games we'll always remember. The teams closed out the 70s in back-to-back AFC championship games, first in the cold, icy rain of Pittsburgh in '79. And the following year on a heartbreaking catch that wasn't, as the Steelers went on to win consecutive Super Bowls. But no matter who won, the rivalry had an added dimension, admiration, and respect.
The game took on special significance for me when they had Earl Campbell. Earl posed a different set of problems because he could outrun you, and he delivered a wallop to you.
Hell, I knew it was going to be tough, and I knew going in after the game I barely could walk. I enjoyed every minute of it. I could still see Joe Green this morning in the pit formation. I could still see Jack Lambert standing over there with that big tall body, throwing his hands and jumping. Of course, L.C. Greenwood, those gold shoes.
But the fond memories of the rivalry end there. The admiration and respect are gone.
There's not much love. The rivalry goes way back, and I think it's been rekindled to the point where we really don't exchange Christmas greetings.
The Steelers and the Oilers. The rivalry is renewed tonight in Houston. This is the Astrodome, the House of Pain in Houston, Texas. And we have a sellout crowd of more than 51,000 to see the Oilers face the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Bengals clinched a playoff berth this afternoon, so Houston is a game and a half out of the division lead. If they win tonight, it would set up an AFC Central showdown next week with the Cincinnati Bengals. Good evening, everybody. I'm Mike Patrick along with Joe Theismann, and it's great to have you with us on ESPN. Houston and Pittsburgh, a study in contrast from their records and their chances for the playoffs. It goes all the way down to the quarterbacks.
Absolutely, Mike. Warren Moon has sort of emerged as a leader of this Houston Oilers football team. Just last week in a game against the Dallas Cowboys, he riddled some guys with some comments that they didn't really take very well about some drop passes. Well, that sort of eliminates. They didn't mention any names, but it sort of eliminates the fact that he was talking to the offensive and defensive linemen. He has really asserted himself and said he just had to gain more confidence. His confidence level is high. Now he wants his football team's confidence level to get high.
Now, on the Pittsburgh side of the ball, Bubby Brister has been there for 3 years, but most of that time hasn't been on the field.
No, it really hasn't. Bubby Brister played 2 games his first year, 2 games his second year. He's really in his 10th game as a starter for the Pittsburgh Steelers. So for all intent and purposes, Bubby Brister is in his rookie season. He's a strong-armed guy. Tom Moore likes him a lot, the offensive coordinator of the Pittsburgh Steelers. He's almost got a linebacker mentality. He just eludes physicalness. He can't wait to run over a linebacker. And that's the kind of game we're going to have tonight. In this last 2 Pittsburgh Steelers-Houston Oilers football games, there have been 5 personal fouls in each of the games, and I would expect the flags to fly just a little bit tonight.
It is the House of Pain, and the Oilers are undefeated here in 1988. They've won 16 of the last 17 non-strike games, and Gary Anderson will kick it off. Deep to receive is Leonard Harris, averaging 19.5 yards a return. High floating kickoff, and Harris a couple of yards deep in the end zone. Only gets back to the 14-yard line. Warren Moon brings the Oilers out. Jerry Glanville feels he's become exactly what they needed, a tough, mature leader, and they're going at it already. 8 seconds. off the first quarter clock, and we have the first conflict. But there is Moon, that tough, mature leader. He's posting some great numbers this year. Like Moon, Drew Hill is having a Pro Bowl season. 3 straight 100-yard games. He's closing in on 1,000 yards for the year. The offensive line has given up just 4 sacks in the last 5 games. Mike Munchak, a 3-time Pro Bowler, is one of the smallest specimens up there at 284. So Houston will start in 4 field position, just shy of their own 15-yard line. And, Joe, the one thing Jerry Glanville would like to do to the Pittsburgh defense is tear them up on the opening drive.
Well, he wants to massage them. That means he probably wants to run the ball about 10 times if he can in a row.
Rozier behind Highsmith in the odds. And Rozier gets the call. Nothing doing that time. The Steelers defense has had problems up front. The top draft choice, Aaron Jones, is back at his natural position of left defensive end after a try at linebacker. That group has been a strength, featuring David Little, the leading tackler and defensive signal caller. In the secondary, only Rod Woodson has been able to start every week. He is the team's defensive MVP. 2nd and 10 for the Oilers. Comes the blitz. He unloads, intended for Givens down the sideline. Woodruff was with him, stride for stride.
Well, you know, they try to go up top. I talked to June Jones, the offensive coordinator of the Houston Oilers, earlier down on the field during warm-ups, and he said that they have laid back a little bit. They've tried to pound people a little. They want to try and force the tempo a little bit more, try and go up top earlier. And there you saw him trying to work against Wayne Woodruff, who really has been under assault, for lack of a better description, because of the play of Ron Woodson, the other corner of the Steelers. People are just staying away from him.
3rd down, 10 yards to go for the Oilers. 4 wide receivers in the ballgame. 5-man rush over the middle. Complete to Drew Hill. Depends on the spot. He needed to get to the 25, and he's past it. First down.
When Houston goes to the 4 wide receivers, there you see 3 on this side of the lower part of the field. They just run 1 on a little out, 1 on a little in, and 1 clears the hole. If you're going to play zone defense against the Houston Oilers with those little natty kind of receivers, you're going to have to close the holes down, and maybe instead of rushing 4, just rush 3 and drop 8.
Warren Moon having a Pro Bowl kind of year, even though he missed 5 with that injury. Rozier behind Highsmith. Got away. Trying to turn it into something and gets back to the original line of scrimmage. Greg Lloyd, number 95, was the man who messed up the play originally. There is a flag down. And it is a clip as he reversed his direction, and it may have been Warren Moon.
Well, that's understandable. I mean, come on. How many blocking dummies has Warren Moon hit, right? The Steelers came out in the beginning of this game, even on the kickoff, and set a tone like, hey, look, let's turn this thing into a physical.
Personal foul. Clipping. Number 74. Offense.
That's Bruce Matthews, the right guard.
See, I knew it couldn't be Warren Moon. I mean, they wouldn't call it on the quarterback because nobody would go down.
Matthews doesn't need the clip.
No, that's true. I mean, he's only 293.
He's the only offensive lineman who has started all 5 positions this year.
There he is. He's hard to hide. When you push a guy in the back like that, you just can't really, there's nowhere to hide when you're that big and pushing people around. Rozier traveled about 4 miles to lose all that yardage.
So now it's 1st and 23. Inside handoff, and it's Givens. And Givens will only get a couple. Rod Woodson came up to make the stop. Woodson, the 2nd leading tackler on this ball club, at the right corner, and that's a little different.
And there you see the rushes that Givens has had this year. He'd run more on reverses, counter plays. That was you spread the 3 wide receivers to the right, move him in a little bit, fake the trap to the fullback, and really instead of, he becomes just the other back in the backfield in the 4 wide.
Second down, 19 yards to go for the Oilers. Highsmith, the lone setback. Moon throws short and complete to Duncan. Duncan almost back to the 25, and a flag goes down. And it is late hit.
That's going to be on Greg Lloyd, number 95, coming in. It's one thing about standing the guy up and taking shots.
95 defense, 15 yards, unnecessary roughness, assessed from the end of the play.
Steelers setting the tone early.
There you see it now. Duncan makes the catch. Woodward's got him inside. Now on the left side of your screen, he's down for all intent and purposes, and here comes the shot to finish him off. And I think the hands to the face were probably the convincing factor there.
So the penalty will give the Oilers a first down out at their own 40-yard line, and Lloyd, who has been injured a great deal in the 2 years he has been with the Steelers, has tremendous potential as an inside linebacker. Moon with plenty of time. Almost picked off by Woodson, intended for Hill. But Woodson, who has 4 interceptions, nearly got to it.
They're even jawing with the guys on the sidelines. I mean, they aren't even content to jaw with the 11 guys on the field. There you saw Woodson talking to Chris Dishman on the sideline. This is an excellent job by Woodson, just staying in Drew Hill's back pocket, and really should have had the interception. A lot of credit to that secondary. They gave Moon had a lot of time to throw the football.
Woodson with world-class speed.
6.25 in the 60-yard dash. I get a nosebleed. My car doesn't go that fast.
Second and 10. Delay to Highsmith, who's been used a lot more lately. Lost the ball. Steelers have it at the Houston 45. The whistle's blowing, but the battle hasn't stopped. The recovery by Darren Jordan, the rookie out of Northeastern, number 55.
They won't let the ball go. There's the official signal now, but they still don't know. Like the players, no matter what the players are told, they still think there's an opportunity to hang on the ball because they know that the wrestling match is it. And Darren Jordan winds up coming up with it.
Big play by Jordan.
This is like an overdraw, Mike. It replaces the sweep to try and get the linebackers to drop back. Now, Highsmith really loses his balance all the way down there, and he winds up having the ball get banged loose. Pittsburgh has it.
Cornell Gowdy knocked it loose. Bubby Brister, and he's got Merrill Hodge and Warren Williams in the backfield with him.
Because Bubby Brister, this is his first start against Houston, I'd look for Pittsburgh to come out, move their tight end a little bit to try and control Keith Fawcett, and maybe run a couple of plays just to give Bubby a chance to settle down a little bit.
Hodge on the toss behind Williams. And now Hodge picks up 4 or 5. Knocked out by Patrick Allen.
You know, this is a situation an offense wants to be in. You pick up 5 yards. You've got a run control offense. Steelers for years have been a great running, trapping type of an offense. You come back again maybe with another run because you don't want to put your quarterback in a 3rd and 5. Maybe you come up in a short yardage or a 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3 situation.
And Hodge has been the workhorse in his second year out of Idaho State. Taken over at fullback. Williams this time. One of his blockers fell down, and Warren Williams got maybe a yard. Trying to pull for him was Craig Wolfley, and slipped and fell.
This is a case of your tackle just getting too deep in the backfield. You'll see from the left part of your screen, as the guard and tackle pull around, Wolfley, number 73, just gets too far into the backfield, and Williams has no chance to hit it up inside.
John Brinsley on the stop, 3rd and 5. Two receivers in the slot. Four-man rush. And time for Brister to Carter. And Carter very close to the first down. They spotted it at the 35. That should be the first down. Brister, of course, the Steelers quarterback this year. His mobility is his greatest asset. He's run for 5 touchdowns, thrown for 7 more. And his favorite target is Lewis Lips, back to the Pro Bowl form of his rookie season. Lips averaging more than 18 yards a catch. The offensive line has been unsettled because of injuries. Tunch Ilkin, playing with a bad shoulder, is a superb pass blocker at right tackle. It is a first down, Steelers at the Oiler 35. Hodge, nice cutback, ran to daylight and got down to the 28-yard line. That Oiler defensive line really gets after the quarterback. Ray Childress already has a career-high 7.5 sacks. The linebackers a very solid group, especially against the run. John Grimsley far and away the club's leading tackler, and a very good secondary led by one of the best free safeties in the game, Jeff Donaldson, number 31. Again, Joe, big yardage on first down, sets up a 2nd and 2.
If this is a quarterback screen, 2nd and 2, 2nd and short, now you have the defense really playing defense.
Warren Williams. Very close to the first down. Williams out of Miami earlier in his career. He was a backup to Alonzo Highsmith of the Oilers. And they'll bring in the change to measure for this one. And it's another first down for the Steelers. Of course, Pittsburgh would like to work as much time off the clock as possible.
Well, they really do. You know, they're really giving Houston a dish of their own medicine. Talking to Coach Glanville, we talked about their first drive. They like to massage the ball a little bit, pound it, let the Steelers know that they're tough, because this is sort of a new thing for Houston. It's been a trademark for Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh has turned around and said, hey, this is the house of pain. Let's see if we can inflict some on you.
Merrill Hodge again, this time only a couple. Got down to the 23-yard line. Hit in a hurry by Al Smith, one of the inside linebackers out of Utah State. In the last 6 weeks, Merrill Hodge has become the focus of the ground attack.
You know, when you look at that backfield, you got Warren Williams, who's a rookie, Merrill Hodge in his 2nd year, Bubby Brister in his 3rd. But as we talked about, for all intent and purposes, he's a guy who's just a rookie. They need as much work as they can get. And with the record where it is, this is a growth part of the season for the Steelers.
Over the last 6 games with Hodge in there, the team has gone over 100 yards rushing, something they were unable to do in the first 6 games of the season, first 7. Delay to Hodge, no dice. And right there was Sean Jones. Big acquisition from the Raiders.
Yeah, this guy's a great football player. And when you talk to the coaches and the players, Sean Jones has really made the difference in that defense because he provides such tremendous leadership. He's come out of an organization with the Los Angeles Raiders that thrive on an excellence, a winning tradition. And he's really taught these young Oiler defenders how to win with pride and set an example through his work ethic.
3rd and 15. At the Oilers 30. Brister under a lot of pressure to Carter. And Carter to the 21, well shy of the first down, but sets them up in pretty decent position to go for the field goal. Bostic made the tackle. This will be about a 39-yard attempt, and you want to understand that this will be automatic for Gary Anderson. He's made his last 30 inside 40 yards. Gary Newsom, the punter, is the holder. Goes the streak. Gary Anderson, who's made 30 straight from that distance, misses, and it's 0-0. And by Haynes, it's not just underwear, it's Haynes. Gary Anderson's missed field goal sets the Oilers up in business at their own 22-yard line. And that would have been an important 3 points.
Well, as soon as you said it, you knew it was jinxing. It's like a free throw.
No, not me.
Oh, okay.
I didn't kick it. Rozier. Woodruff banged him out of bounds, but he reached the 29-yard line first.
Go back and take a look at that missed field goal. Now, the job of a holder is to make sure that the laces are pointing away from the kicker. There you see Newsom. He gets the ball down. Now, look where these laces are. He spun it the wrong way. He should have spun it away. Now, Anderson just hits the laces, and they act as a rudder for the ball, and it just takes it off to the left, just like a simple sail. And so that, you know, that miss gets charged against Gary Anderson, but really, that's the responsibility of the holder.
And special teams have been a nightmare for the Steelers this year. Aaron Jones coming off. Anderson on the sideline. Newsom, of course, the holder, and he has had more than his share of problems. 6 blocked punts. That is an NFL record. And Houston, of course, was the great punt block team. We'll see that a little later. 2nd and 2 Oilers. Rozier again. Dragged down by Thomas Everett, the safety. And the Steelers thought they got the ball, but they'll rule it down.
That's the old rule that the ground cannot cause a fumble rule, so that's the way that one was ruled. Look at the offensive line fire off. There's Jamie Williams up top, Dean Steinkuhler, Bruce Matthews on that right side. Rozier, if he doesn't start putting the ball away, he's going to cough that thing up legitimately if he's not careful. You can't run with it out there like a breadbasket. See how he has it away from his body and then just pulls it back in?
That thing may have been loose before it got to the ground.
Yeah, but you see, if he hits the ground with the ball simultaneously, they can't discern the difference.
First down for the Oilers. And Moon to throw on first down. Bombs away. Hill. Out of bounds. Did not get both feet down, but he beat Rod Woodson. That was close.
Well, it was close, but it's the responsibility of the receiver to give the quarterback an opportunity to have some sideline to throw the ball. There's his left foot down. Now there comes the right foot, right on the line. No question. Excellent call by the official. Ron Woodson, in visiting with him yesterday, I asked him what the toughest patterns to cover were. He said, the post is a tough pattern because I have a tendency to try and run underneath it. And if a quarterback throws the ball up in the air in an arc, the guy gets behind me. The same principle applied on that pattern, which was a corner pattern.
Keith Gary, number 92, into the defensive end spot. Aaron Jones going to delay Rozier. Gary is in on the tackle along with Hardy Nickerson, 54. We're told that Aaron Jones has shaken up a little bit. He will be back in the ballgame. Steelers, of course, a little short at linebacker. They lost Brian Hinkle last week. Mike Merriweather has been a holdout forever, says he will never play against the Steelers. And I have to admire team president Dan Rooney, who will not work a trade for him or renegotiate the contract. He has an interesting reason. He says he doesn't want agents to control pro football. He says he owns the team, and that's it. 3rd and 6. Duncan and Drury added to the receiving corps. Moon flutters one out of bounds. Moon
Good thing it's deer season and not bird season, or else we'd had some guns going off in here. That was one of those dying quails that just sort of headed for the sidelines and safety.
Greg Montgomery comes on, had his best week as a pro a year ago, averaged more than 48 yards a kick against Dallas, and Woodson will go back to receive the punt.
You know, I wonder if the Steelers don't want to really try and slam one back in Houston's face. I mean, their kicking scheme has just taken nothing but punishment and abuse, media and verbal and every other way. Maybe they want to try and drive one back out.
They've got 10 men on the line.
They certainly went after it.
Montgomery sails the beauty out of there. Woodson with no blocker. Actually got a few yards back out of it. Reached the 14-yard line, a 3-yard return after a 42-yard punt. 4:17 to go in a scoreless first quarter.
Usually doesn't leave tickets for special people at home games, but I guess he made an exception and left it for ZZ Top, huh?
And remember, there's only 20 shopping days till Christmas.
Yeah.
You can get one of those cheap.
You get one of those outfits for real cheap. I like the one with the pigtails.
Steelers not in good field position inside their own 15. We just joined the scoreless ball game in the Astrodome. Give him 2 to the 16-yard line. Robert Lyles, number 93, was in on the tackle.
I don't believe Pittsburgh's going to be able to hammer the football at Houston's front 7, 8, how many ever they put up there. Normally it's about an 8-man line. I just can't see Pittsburgh coming out. Pittsburgh, it's like going against a goal line defense, Mike. You just can't, there aren't enough creases. You don't have enough people to block everybody. I think what they're going to have to do is say, okay, if Houston wants to commit that many people to the line of scrimmage, we'll run some play action. We'll run some screens. We'll let you come after us and then try and get the ball to the people out on the perimeter.
Oilers will go to 4 down lineman. Sean Jones checks in on 2nd and 8. Williams out of the backfield, flips the tackle. Very close to the first down, got to the 23. Johnny Meads finally brought him down. One thing the Steelers might be looking at, there's a little hole in the middle of that Houston defense with Doug Smith, the nose tackle, out, serving his last game on the sideline for a substance abuse. Brister so far, 3 out of 3, 20 yards. This will be a 3rd and 1.
Well, you know, also, Houston's got, 76 yards to defend. Now, why don't you, maybe you run a little play action pass or option, something like that, because they've got everybody at the line of scrimmage. Why not try it?
Rodney Carter, 24 in there. And they'll give it to Carter. He wants to throw it. Merrill Hodge, midfield, 40, driven out of bounds. Jeff Donaldson made the tackle. Carter is now 2 out of 3 passing.
Well, he makes a great decision here. Again, we talk about Houston's got everybody at the line of scrimmage. Why not? Now, he's not going to get a 10 for form, but he sure gets a 10 for release, and he gets the ball off. I mean, that's like a quick pass. You get that Houston line charging in. I mean, Pittsburgh has not done it. You wouldn't expect it, and all of a sudden they wind up with a big gainer. Here's another look at it. You see how Jeff Donaldson bites? See this? When you get the safety up that close, there it is, right over the top.
First down at the Oilers, 37. Hodge will carry it this time. Just a yard. And Donaldson that time came flying over the pot. And here we go again. That's a great job by the official. You reach in and grab somebody who outweighs you by 150 pounds and tell them to stop it.
I'll tell you something. This is the kind of a football game where the officials, whatever they get, look at that look. See, you got to put a uniform on. I mean, you've got officials. He's all into it. There it is right there. Now, he's not going to give him a chance to start. He says, wait a minute. He obviously wanted the guy that he thought started it. This is part of the problem when you get a reputation like Houston has. They're going to accuse you in fights because you're the tough guy. Doesn't matter.
Dale Hammer, the head linesman, was the courageous official who reached in there. 2nd and 9. Brister to Lips, and Lips down to the 24-yard line. Brown made the tackle, but it's another first down for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Visiting with Louis Lips, he talked about the corners of the Houston Oilers, and he said they're not exceptional man-to-man players. Here he is going one-on-one on Steve Brown. I want you to watch at the end what he does. Now, he could sit there, but instead, he comes back to the ball. He is responsible for that completion just by his technique of coming back to the ball.
Lips has made a catch in 23 straight games now. And Brister is perfect on the night. Hodge lost his helmet, gained a yard. Ray Childress got him.
They love it here. The only thing I guess these people would applaud more is if the head was still in it. They just want it down here. Watch this. He just whack. Now, if you don't know what's going on, you think some guy's head rolled off. And then, typical Houston Oilers comes and just kicks it away.
That's when you don't start a fight, when you've lost your hat.
No, as a matter of fact, you hide behind somebody real big or get behind one of the guys in the striped shirt.
Hodge running and passing is the Steelers' leading rusher, their second leading pass receiver. He's out on this pattern. Instead, Brister goes deep for Lip. Can't hold it. He had a step on Richard Johnson and couldn't come up with the ball.
Remember, 2 plays before, Louis Lips makes a catch on an out pattern. Here he just runs a little quick in and go. It's like a post and go. The ball is late. That's all there is to it. By pumping as much as Brister did, and you remember he just really put a lot into it, he doesn't have a chance to load and get it out in front of Louis Lips. I think they're going to be aggressive, and they're going to go after the cornerbacks of the Houston Oilers. Excellent defensive play.
Ouija Thompson is in as the wide receiver. The Steelers also have Carter in there, so 4 wideouts. Brister just got it off in time, or did he? He was pointing at the play clock saying he couldn't hear, and time is running down.
Well, what he was doing...
Start, 62, offense.
You'll see the right tackle flinched just a little bit. He sees the play clock as well. You know, that's what happens when you're real
No
smart
delay
offensive
game
lineman.
foul. Ball start, 62, offense.
See, you see Osen move? Osen just lifts up a little bit. He sees the play clock running down to 0, so he knows that, hey, we have to get the ball off. He's a smart offensive lineman. He almost would rather have the guys that can't count all the way down to 0. They don't know. They just sit there. That's right.
Chuck Nolan, his 20th year. It's been a tough year for legends. Third and 14. Comes the blitz. Brister throwing for Lips again. And they'll say incidental contact as Lips went down. Now, the thing Brister pointed at before that play was showing Merrill Hodge that he had picked up a blitz, and he wanted Hodge there to pick it up.
That's exactly right. What he's doing is he is identifying the defense for his backs. Now, here, he lets this ball go late. This is not, first of all, it's an ugly pass, and secondly, it's ill-advised. That should have been an interception, and that Donaldson's unbelievable. And here's the contact. Now, watching the right part of your screen, watch the official. Oh, you can't quite see it, but he almost reaches in his pocket.
Anderson from 45 yards. It's good, but there's another flag down.
Offside, defense, holding, 33, offense. Offsetting fouls, replay the down.
Merrill Hodge called for the hold after Houston was offside, so Anderson will have to try it again. So the Steelers have not distinguished themselves in the field goal unit. They missed one because of an improper hold from Newsom. Then Anderson connects, and they have a holding penalty.
Well, that was a practice stop. Now he gets a chance to figure out, if he wants to make any adjustments.
From 45 again. And it's good again. So Gary Anderson, the 7-year veteran out of Syracuse, one of the most accurate kickers in league history, puts his team up by 5 seconds to go in the first quarter. Steelers up 3-0. Certainly not what the Houston Oilers had in mind at the Dome of Pain.
Now, this is the kind of game where a low-scoring game is definitely, I think, in the Steelers' favor.
Leonard Harris needs to receive. High, short pass. Harrison 7. Nice run. Anderson made the tackle at the 39. Would have been a touchdown as it was a 34-yard return and the end of the first quarter. There they are, some of the 51,666 in attendance tonight in the Astrodome. They have seen their Oilers fall behind the Steelers 3-0. Oilers football just inside their own 40-yard line. Rozier picking his way through. Gets up to about the 46-yard line. Hardy Nickerson again on the tackle. Hope you'll be with us next Sunday. Denver and Seattle in a wild AFC West battle that should decide first place, 8 o'clock Eastern. And you can start your day at 11:30 in the morning. Chris Berman, Tom Jackson, Pete Axthelm will be there to preview every game of the day. Then back at 7 o'clock, John Saunders will be with them. And they will give you highlights of every game played in the NFL on prime time. Anthony Hinton into the linebacker for the Steelers on 2nd and 3. Rozier on the toss. Nice hit by Tim Johnson, 78, that caused the tackle, and then Nickerson helped mop it up. Steelers lost Keith Willis before the season started. There's Gary Anderson on the sideline. Gary Dunn was waived, so a lot of talent and experience up front.
You know, one of the different, we had Morton Anderson last week with the New Orleans Saints, and they talk about him being the most accurate kicker in football. He kicks mostly inside a dome. I really think the feat that Gary Anderson has accomplished, kicking outside in a place like Pittsburgh in all kinds of weather, is absolutely phenomenal. And he really deserves a little asterisk next to his name in the record book.
Just saw the Oilers tendencies on 3rd and 4. They can Rozier. Runs into a stone wall, bounces outside, and has the first down. Great second effort. Everett made the tackle, but Rozier turned the loss into a first down.
Well, you mentioned it, Mike. This is a classic case of running into a stone wall, in this case, a steel curtain. He just runs right up inside. Excellent defense, but you got to wrap your arms around. You just got to make some tackles. Keith Gary doesn't really get his arms up, allows Rozier to bounce around outside and pick up the first down.
Rozier's gained 27 yards on 4 carries so far. The passing game has not gone well. Warren Moon only 2 out of 6 and a mere 19 yards. Four-man rush and time. Over the middle, Drew Hill. Woodson chases him down at the 27-yard line. A gain of 22.
I got to believe that Pittsburgh's got to figure out some way to double cover Drew Hill. He'll be up the right-hand part of your screen. Now, all he does is run a simple crossing pattern, and Warren Moon is just hot right now as a quarterback. He's putting the ball exactly where it has to be. Looking at the AFC, he's the kind of a quarterback who really deserves consideration for a Pro Bowl because of what he's done for his football team this year.
Alan Pinkett checks in the backfield. He's number 20. Pinkett on the delay. Got a shot from David Little, number 50. Drew Hill with 2 catches for 30 yards. He is closing in on career highs here in this ball game. Only needed 9 catches and a touchdown for career highs in that department. Already has 2 for 30 yards. And has been an absolute tremendous performer over the last 4 years. Only Jerry Rice has more yards, and of all those guys, Drew Hill is the only one who has not gone to the Pro Bowl, and his Oilers teammates think it'd be a shame if he didn't make it.
And he should go this year because he deserves it. He is one of the best 3 or 4 receivers in the AFC for sure.
2nd and 9. 4-man rush, no pressure. That one was tipped, and they were throwing for their tight end, Jamie Williams, who catches a pass about every other game.
This is something that they just don't do. There you see his hair sticking out of his helmet, but this is just something they don't do. It's throw to the tight end. He's had 6 catches coming into this game, and if you just don't catch it, you just don't get used to it. I mean, he's got enough stickum on those gloves that if it gets down a little bit further, it's going to stay there. Got those locks draped out the back. They call him Spider-Man. Dressed up in an outfit, puts on a costume, sticks the walls. That time the ball there. I mean, if he's Spider-Man, you can't drop that.
3rd and 9. 3-man rush. Pass short, complete. That will be short of the first down. Gibbons made the catch at the 18-yard line, did not get up, and boy, did he get thrilled. Greg Boyd and Hardy Nickerson just blasted.
I was reading an article, one of the releases, and Ernest Gibbons was talking about it's really tough to be a wide receiver in the House of Pain because what happens is the receivers, the defense sort of intimidates everybody else, and then the receivers pay the punishment of having the defense get a reputation for knocking people around, so they get abused for it.
Tony Zendejas, who has made 7 of his last 8, will try from 36 yards. Jerry Glanville said he never lost confidence in his place kicker, and from 36 yards out, Zendejas ties it at 3. Many great moments in NFL history, but this may be the most memorable.
Jerry Bradshaw control. And Bradshaw back and looking again. Bradshaw running out of the pocket, looking for somebody to throw to, fires it downfield. And there's a collision. It's caught out of the air. The ball is pulled in by Franco Harris. Harris is going for a touchdown for Pittsburgh. Harris is going.
I don't care how many times you see it, it's hard to believe, but it must seem a long, long way ago for Chuck Noll, who has been besieged since the early 80s, and a lot of criticism here this year. Zendejas to kick off. Taken by Dwight Stone. He can fly. Stone! Forget it! 92 yards, no flags, touchdown. Zendejas was the only one who had a remote chance of tackling him, and he wasn't even close.
Well, what he did is he just didn't take it to the sidelines enough. You see, Zendejas is sort of the safety man. Now, Houston prides itself on its special teams, particularly its kickoff cover people. Now, Stone, you see Zendejas, he gives him so much room to the sidelines. The sidelines is the other defender, and a kicker has to utilize that and run the kick returner back to where his teammates are. There was a case where Zendejas barely had time to get over and try and make a play on him.
Stone has 4.25 speed. Once he was in the open, nobody was going to catch him. Anderson with the point after. And the Steelers strike like lightning and have a 10-3 lead over their arch rival. It's brought to you by Mazda and the exciting new Mazda cars and trucks for 1989. By the American Express card. Membership has its privileges. Don't leave home without it. And by Bud Light. Everything else is just a light. That was the second 92-yard kickoff return this year for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Stone had that one. Woods and his teammates had the other one. Steelers to kick off, leading 10-3. Anderson to do the honors. And Leonard Harris waiting deep to return in his own 1. High short kick taking it to 9. Harris returned to the 32-yard line. Tyrone Stowe down to make the tackle. Here they go again.
Here's the kickoff. What you're going to see right here is Stone just takes it. They kick it over to a corner, but what happens is Houston's cover team, if you stop it right there, you're going to see Houston's cover team. This is Chris Dishman. He's coming down. He comes outside and around. Stone just hits this hole, and he doesn't give Zendejas an opportunity to get over and even get in position to try and help him. See Zendejas come from the right. He's got too much ground to try and cover. A kicker can't be aggressive. They just have to sort of lay back and try and wait for support.
That was the last kickoff return for a touchdown. It's been since 1973. Since somebody did it. Ike Hill was there on 95 yards 15 years ago. Houston back to the attack, quickly out to Drew Hill. Woodruff made the tackle. Hill coming into this game, 5th in the conference in catches with 57 and 917 yards gained, 2nd in the AFC.
We talked to Coach Glanville earlier today, earlier this week on Friday, and he said that he didn't practice his team before the Thanksgiving Day game with Dallas. So he told them that the first quarter was going to be practice in that game and that they had to really jack it up after that. I don't think he told them that in this one, but it looks like they've come out and played the same way in this game.
If they have been off since Thanksgiving for this one. Flip it out. Highsmith fumbled the ball after he made the catch, but it went out of bounds. Larry Griffin knocked him out of bounds.
Nice job by Moon just swinging out now. Highsmith got the ball. I don't even know whether he ever had the ball, Mike, to be honest with you. I'm not sure whether he ever had possession of the ball because he looked like he was just trying to shift it over to his hand. Now here you see he gets his hands on the ball, but he doesn't really have possession. He's still bouncing it. He's still trying to put it away. That man never had possession of the football.
I thought he caught it.
No. There, watch, look. See? It's in his gut now. He doesn't. He's trying. You know. He's. See it? It's just sliding back and forth and back and forth.
They are checking it in the replay booth.
If you look at it from the end zone coming at you, it gives you the best shot. And this is the shot right here. Now watch. It goes into his hand. Now it's on his chest. He doesn't really have possession. No, he doesn't.
He's got it.
No, I don't think so. I think it just, and don't forget now, we're moving it a little slower, so it doesn't show the movement of the ball on the stomach, but I personally think that this one might have got away
After
from
further review, the play stands. Second down.
it. So what do I know? That's why it's their job to officiate. Mine to just tell me what I think.
Houston ball of Steelers territory to 47. It will be 2nd and 3, Oilers. And the fans haven't had a lot to cheer about so far. Their boys down 10-3. Rozier got to the first down 6. David Little, number 50, was over there to get him, along with Tim Johnson. Outside the Astrodome here in Houston tonight, Goodyear Blimp America. Your sight over football stadiums for the past 19 years. Beautiful sight. Once known as the 8th wonder of the world when they built it more than a quarter of a century ago. Now the House of Pain. 8th wonder of the world has a little more worldly ring to it.
What's really the 8th wonder of the world with a House of Pain?
Yeah.
I don't know whether that's going up the scale or down.
Spencer Tillman, number 33, is in at fullback for Houston. Play action by Moon. Broke it for Gibbons. Woodson just got him out of bounds. 29-yard gain. And Warren Moon has the luxury in this game of having all the time he wants to throw the football. The Steelers can't get anywhere near him.
Well, they just don't have the people. Gary, you see Gibbons on the right part of your screen. Now, Drew Hill up the top. You see him? He's taking the entire secondary and Woodson with him. And Gibbons just runs a nice, simple crossing pattern. Like I said before, Drew Hill has caught 3 passes so far. All of a sudden, Pittsburgh has to focus their attention on him, and that gives Ernest Gibbons a chance to run down the field. They're great compliments to one another.
Well, they sure are. The 3rd best receiving tandem in the NFL. Rozier. Trying to cut it. Showed some speed that time. Looked like they had the angle on him. Still turned the corner. Little drove him out of bounds, along with Cornell Gowdy.
Spencer Tillman, number 33. You'll see the lead block on this play. You see him right out front. Does a good job on the corner, on the safety. Just sticks his nose right into him. Cornell Gowdy. And Rozier, I still got to believe that if Rozier continues to carry the ball like that through the course of this football game, he will put one on the rug. You just can't hang it out there for somebody to pick your pocket all evening and expect it not to happen.
He's let the ball come loose twice tonight. 2nd and 3. Rozier again. To the 5. He needs to get to the 4. The first down. Lorenzo Freeman and Aaron Jones at the bottom of the pile.
This is where most teams in the National Football League come in with their jumbo or short yardage type offense. Houston sometimes has a tendency to just go with the 4 wides down inside the red area, which is inside the plus 20, and just spread the entire defense out. Just tell everybody to go down 5 yards and hook for the touchdown.
And we go with 2 wides this time and split the back behind Warren Moon. And Moon to throw. Wanted Hill, couldn't find him. Touchdown, Rozier.
Pittsburgh does its job. They go where Warren's looking, and then all of a sudden he gets flushed out of the pocket. He's looking out to the right, but he has such presence of mind. That's supposed to be the one thing that a quarterback is not supposed to do. Roll to the right and throw back across the field. But when you're only talking about 5 yards, it's not a problem.
And Gay ties it up. And Warren Moon, with the ability to scramble and throw on the run, is knotted the game at 10. Down catch of his career. And the Oilers have tied it up here in Houston, 10-10 with the Steelers. The last time Houston kicked off, White Stone went 92 yards to the touchdown. Let's see if they want to kick it to Woodson.
And he did it in a hurry.
Yes, he did.
Woodson runs a little faster than Stone, so.
They'll try Stone again. Very nicely done, not quite as spectacular. Back out to the 34. Alan Pinkett down on special teams. Made the tackle after a 27-yard gain. The drive went 68 yards, and Rozier with his first career touchdown catch from Warren Moon. There we are. That's the infinity. You can see as many TV sets in that picture as you want. .6:37 to go, first half, 10-10, Steelers ball. High. Brown chased him out of bounds. Brown is playing with a badly dislocated finger, and he's still in there at the corner.
Here's a strong safety right here, Cornell Gowdy. Now, he's going to go out and double the wide receivers. You're going to see Drew Hill hook up. Jamie Williams is going to come wide open in the middle. Rozier is just going to swing around as Moon rolls out, and he'll fire it in for the TD. Now, I got to believe that Moon's got to deal with Rozier on this, because there's Williams in the middle. You see him in the middle? He's wide open. Drew Hill's open up the top. Now, Warren runs around. He points. Now, down the bottom is Gibbons open. And I just think Rozier said, look, how about this one for me?
Brister under pressure, throws incomplete. Off the hands of Charles Lockett. Patrick Allen was there, but didn't see the ball, and Lockett just dropped it. Johnny Meade putting the pressure on Brister.
This ball is not thrown exactly where it should be, nor is it pretty. And he doesn't get out in front, but it is a catchable ball. Charles Lockett's got to make those catches. They expect him to make those catches.
That's Johnny Meade stumping Brister. When you get hit like that, you want to see the guy hang on to the football. That's been one of Lockett's problems with the drops. He'll make a spectacular catch and then do one like that. Meade fumble. Steelers got it. Boy, it sure looked like Meade's got to jump on that snap. He was there in a hurry.
Well, he timed that thing so perfect. He had 6 sacks coming into this game. That's number 7. Now, there he is. The thing is, though, is he is off the ball. And if you line up a yard back from the ball, you can take a running start. Remember, it doesn't matter whether you're moving forward, but just if you cross where the ball is.
Harry Newsom to punt. He has had 6 blocks this year. That's an NFL record. The Oilers have blocked 5. That ties for an NFL record. Go for 6, they say, and you bet they will. Willie Drury is deep to receive. Remember, they lost Kenny Johnson as their punt returner.
And Jerry Glanville, I think, has taken advantage more than any coach in the National Football League of the change in rules. It seems that if you maul the quarterback, so what? I mean, you really have to get with the kicker. You really have to tear his head off to get a roughing penalty and a first down. If they go after him and hit him, it's a 5-yard penalty. Here you got 3rd down in a mile, 4th down in a mile.
And he got it out of there. And Newsom is a great punter when he can punt it. Almost loose, and here's Drury. nearly fumbled the football. Tyrone Stowe made the tackle, 7-yard return after a 45-yard punt from the NFL's leading kicker. Back in just a moment. Drury filling in for Kenny Johnson, the normal punt returner who's hurt, and he barely got that, Joe.
Well, he took his eye off it because he saw the Pittsburgh defender coming down. He's lucky to hit him in the face mask and not the shoulder or someplace else and bounce straight out in front where he could catch it.
Ball spotted just inside the 42-yard line for the Oilers. 5:31 to go in the half. Rozier with a first down and more. Finally forced out of bounds by Anthony Hinton, 96.
One of the things about the special teams is coaches talk about getting the ball off under 2 seconds. If you get it off under 2 seconds, you shouldn't get one block. Now there you see Montgomery on the left. He gets his kickoff in 1.9 seconds, which makes a special teams coach very comfortable. Now Harry Newsom, and really, although he's been credited with the block kicks, it's not been necessarily his fault, but he is aware that he has to get it off in a hurry, and he still gets it off right around 2, so that's comfortable. But he's had different snappers and different blocking schemes in front of him that have caused some of the problems.
Pinkett into the ball game. Cracks up the middle down to the 30-yard line. Hinton had to make the saving tackle.
Well, you got offense. You got a center at Tennyson's 282. Matthews is 290. You see why Pinkett has a hole the size of a crater to run through. You got to remember that the front defensive line of the Pittsburgh Steelers only averages about 260. The offensive line of the Houston Oilers averages around 290. So they're giving away 30 pounds up front.
Pinkett comes out. Rozier is back in. Look at what they've done on first down. 10 out of 13 yards. 4 or 10 out of 13 times 4 or more yards. Rozier this time will not pick up the 4. Nickerson got him around the knee. Nickerson and Little, tough inside linebackers for the Steelers. Linebacking has been a strength for this ball club with all their problems up front. There's Nickerson out of California, 5th-round draft choice in '87. Of course, that patch AJR on all the Steelers uniform is for the owner who died in preseason, Art Rooney. One of the founders of the National Football League.
And to hear the Steelers talk about the chief, the gentleman was really somebody special.
He was indeed. Don Maggs is in as the left tackle for Bruce Davis. Pinkett back in there. Again, up the middle and stopped in a hurry as Little rattled it.
You know, you're talking about the strength of the Steelers team for years, having been its linebackers, really its front seven. And in the glory years of the Steelers, they had great corners as well as active linebackers and the pressure up front. I mean, they were just a great defense everywhere. But, you know, Greg Lloyd is 225. Nickerson's 230. Little's 230. Anthony Hinton, who's playing in place of Brian Hinkle, is only 230. That's not necessarily a big front seven with the line 260 and the linebackers 230.
Certainly not anymore. On 3rd and 3, Moon to throw. Pressure. Through its sidearm, almost intercepted at the 15. Diving for it, Darren Jordan, the linebacker. And for one of the few times tonight, the Steelers got in on Warren Moon.
Little play action pass, but you see the Steelers linebackers don't bite on it. They're flying back right now. Big pressure up the middle by Gerald Williams. And he's actually trying to throw the ball out to Alonzo Highsmith, number 32, but he was nowhere to be found. That's how the term stone hand has been laid upon linebackers.
Zendejas officially from 41 yards. And Zendejas has now made 7 in a row, 9 of his last 10, and here we go again. To say they don't like each other is an understatement. 2:54 to go in the half, 3-point lead. There's the man in black, Jerry Glanville. And one of his hobbies is Elvis Presley.
I'd say it's a hobby. You're right. Absolutely a hobby.
This was on his television show a week ago. Elvis actually showed up.
And you'll leave him some tickets.
We'll leave you some tickets, too, for the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I miss you in Memphis.
All right. Yeah, you were in the kitchen.
Right.
Now, what he means about that, well, there's the Elvis license plate from Graceland that they sent to Jerry Glanville, which he has on his car, and they sent him a picture which I don't know if anybody has ever seen this before. This is Elvis in a football helmet.
I'm glad, you know something, I'm a big Elvis fan as well. I really do. I have a picture of him at home and everything, and he looks a lot better without a football helmet than he does in a football helmet. I got to be honest with you.
But Glanville had a VIP tour of Graceland. The kitchen was closed, and they heard someone in the kitchen. Jerry Glanville swears it was Elvis.
Yeah, he turned to June Jones, his offensive coordinator. He says he's in there eating peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. I know it. He's convinced. I mean, the man is convinced.
And there's a poster of the King here at the House of Pain. It's not the most flattering one I've ever seen.
Well, the one with the helmet certainly was. That's the Bruce.
Stone and Woodson deep again as the Oilers are taking a 3-point lead. And Deha bangs one this time. 5 yards deep. The Steelers will take over at their own 20. And we've got another scuffle. Lawyer Tillman going against Nickerson. Or Spencer Tillman going against Nickerson.
You know, the Oilers is basically, they've built this reputation. You know, they almost have made themselves bigger than life here in Houston by saying, hey, look, we are the baddest, toughest guys on the block. And that can work against you because everybody comes in, it's like being a defending Super Bowl champion. Everybody comes in here and wants a piece of you because you're the top gun in the rest.
See what Brister can do under 3 minutes to go in the half. He'll throw on first down up top. Got Lips out there and he hit him. Lips still on his feet. Touchdown Steelers, 80 yards. Steve Brown couldn't stay with him and then couldn't make the tackle, and Brister was perfect on the throw.
Well, Louis Lips has become that big play man that they've looked for. I mean, the Oilers are just down on the ground on this thing. They cannot believe what's happening. Jerry Glanville upstairs. Of course, he's the defensive coach. What happens is he's locked up on Steve Brown now. He does a good job of getting around him. Jeff Donaldson is usually the safety who's going to be home. Lips does an excellent job adjusting. Brown just can't get him down. As I mentioned, Louis Lips said that the man-to-man coverage was not the strength of the quarterback.
Gary Anderson flipped that one past the left upright. Before that play, the Steelers had -8 yards in total offense in this quarter.
When you take a look at this particular play, the key to it is where is Jeff Donaldson? Here he is. What the Steelers are going to do, they're run a little play-action pass, then run the back down on a corner to get Donaldson to fight, and then Lips is going to come down inside and just go up the field, and Brister's going to put the TD right out over there. Real simple. Now watch Donaldson. See him at the top? Now here he comes down. He's reading Brister's eyes. Those 2 steps allowed Lips to just get up the field and work one-on-one to Steve Brown. So you got to, now there's a case where Bubby Brister says, okay, Jeff Donaldson reads my eyes, I'll take him. Now look at Brister. See how he pumps over to the left? That convinced Donaldson that that's where the ball was going. And then you got Louis Lips one-on-one. This is an excellent throw at the end of it, by the way. Whoops. Hold on that thing, Louis.
Brown did everything he could. Lips a great job to avoid the tackle, and Brister gets the 80-yard bomb to put the Steelers back on top 17-13. Quite a first half for Pittsburgh. Anderson with a low bouncing kick. Picked up by Lorenzo White. White back to the 25. And the Oilers will have 2:26 to see what they can do on offense.
Interestingly enough, about Pittsburgh's touchdown pass, Mike, is that was the first down pass they threw all night. They've worked and worked and worked to set that one play up, and it took them almost 2 quarters to get what they wanted, and they got the result.
And the play action fake was a big part of it. A lot of people around the National Football League think that young man, Bubby Brister, is going to be a star in this league for a long time.
I do. I think he is where Randall Cunningham was a couple of years ago. He has that ability and that fiery nature to lead a football team.
And Warren Moon has already reached that level. He's really proven it this year. Moon throws from the flat, incomplete. And a shot by Greg Lloyd on the intended receiver to make sure it was incomplete. Lloyd with a wealth of talent at that outside linebacker.
Tennyson doing a great job up front, giving Moon all the time in the world to throw the ball. Drury the ball's a little bit behind him, but still he's got to make the catch. And he winds up getting a mouthful of Steeler helmets.
Moon had hit 6 straight before that one.
He's got to feel like he's in his living room behind the 5 offensive linemen. Davis, Blanchett, Tennyson, Matthews, and Sonny Brewer.
Steelers now have 6 defensive backs in now in special defense. Wrap it off for Duncan. Duncan wrapped up by Greg Carr, one of the inside linebackers. A couple of yards shy of a first down, winding down towards 2. And the Oilers in no hurry to get this one off. Warren Moon will walk towards the sideline. He wants to talk to his coaching staff about what they'd like to do with 2 minutes left in 3rd and 2. At the Pro Bowl on ESPN, the Travelers Corporation will present the Travelers NFL Man of the Year Award to the player whose on-field performance is complemented by significant community involvement. This year's nominees from the Pittsburgh Steelers, place kicker Gary Anderson, and from the Houston Oilers, their quarterback, Warren Moon. 3rd and 2. The Oilers with 2 minutes to go in the first half, down by 4 points. Rozier will try to get the first down. I don't think Rozier made it. Keith Gary horse-collared him. Gary Reef was also there. And it's short.
Now the Oilers are really going to have to, they're going to have to run another running play. Now you see his knee is on the ground, so that's where the ball is. It's a good spot by the officials. Now they started the clock. It's very important. Now the Steelers are either going to have to try and go for the short yard. I can't believe they're doing this.
No, they're going to punt.
I think they outweigh that defense by 60 pounds. Okay, it's a good
decision. Bigger risk.
Yeah, it's a big game. It's an important game. It's your own 35. Maybe they're right, but I still like to see him go for it.
That's Lupe Sanchez, who's back to receive Montgomery's punt. No run. Short. Takes a good bounce for the Oilers, though. Inside the 20-yard line. 45-yard punt. Hope you'll be with us next week. We'll have the Broncos and the Seahawks at 8 o'clock Eastern. John Elway is back, showing the all-pro form that led the Broncos to the last 2 Super Bowls. The Kingdom knows the land of the Boz, and Seattle linebacker Brian Bosworth expected to be back in uniform for the Seahawks. Quarterback Dave Craig has returned from an early season injury to lead Seattle into playoff contention. It's the battle for the AFC Western Division title. The Broncos and the Seahawks next Sunday here on ESPN. 1:14 to go in the half. Just a delay to Hodge. Darryl Hodge runs right over the official up to the 31-yard line.
Now this is where Brister gets a chance to mature a little bit, make some decisions on how he wants to run his 2-minute offense. They have 3 timeouts left, so he uses one of them right here at this particular juncture, so it gives them a 1st and 10. Boy, times have really changed. I never knew quarterbacks would say, I never took my helmet off when I came to the sideline. Now they know if the cameras are on. This is what happens right in the middle when you're in the middle. There's the official. Good. Well, Merrill Hodge did a good thing. He does a good job. Dennis Riggs does a nice job of blocking the Oilers' defensive lineman and allowing Hodge to pick up a few extra yards.
They ought to let the umpire wear shoulder pads. He's always standing in that area.
We had a game, game earlier today. One of them got hurt and wound up having to have the officials be replaced. See, he's a communicator, too. He's got to make sure that he can talk to the people up in the press box. You know, they might have broke the machine, too.
Or just talk.
Geez, yeah.
The 1st and 10 for the Steelers out at the 31. 2 timeouts left for Pittsburgh.
I think they have to start throwing the football here. They can't run too many because then they'll waste too much time off the clock.
Brisker trying to scramble, no dice. They got him at the 29-yard line.
I got to get up real quick, and I got to see how Gary runs this 2-minute offense. Got to be a little more demonstrative here. Yell at the guy. Get him ready to go. That's good. He does the hand signal to let the receivers know what the routes are. Got plenty of time on a 30-second clock, but he needs to pick up about 10, 12, 15 yards on the throw.
William Fuller got that last sack. This one is complete. Get it out to Ouija Thompson out of Florida State, and he'll move the sticks for another first down.
He's bouncing around out there, doesn't he?
Brister gets a little pumped up. He'll use his second timeout to stop the clock. 39 seconds left in the half. Coming up at halftime, Chris Berman will be along. Television's fastest 3 minutes highlights of every game played today. Floyd Firestone will have a look at the NFL through the eyes and brush of the artist. And we'll have a first half analysis of this ball game. And the Steelers have played very, very well. The team came in 3-10.
But they're a better football team than 3-10, and Chuck Noll's a better coach than he's deserved all the criticism. You take a look at the sidelines, and Bubby Brister coming back in after conferring with Tom Moore, their offensive coordinator. This is a little bit of a departure for Tom Moore because he usually was in the press box calling the plays. He said it's better he's on the field because he needs to be there because of the personality of Bubby Brister. He's got to have, you know, somebody to talk to him. He's got to be able. He's the only one who can really calm him down. It's like a lion for crying out loud. You know, he's got to be there with a gun and a whip and a chair.
Brister now 6 out of 9, 125 yards, including that 80-yard bomb. Only a 2-man rush. And the pass incomplete. A flag is down, however. Trying to throw for Hodge. And he was wrapped up by Eugene Steele, the special teams demon.
This is an important call for 2 reasons. Number one, it allows the Steelers to pick up some additional yardage, but also it stops the clock, so they don't have to use one of their timeouts.
And they'll be ready at the line of scrimmage when the ball's
See how tough this game is? When the officials start bleeding, when the officials start bleeding, that's when you know you're in it. These 2 guys, they came into this, or the officials came into this game knowing it was going to be a physical game. Little did they know they would be involved in the physicality.
He's holding, 53 defense, 5 yards, automatic first down.
Steve Brown, the left corner, has come out of the ball game, and Richard Johnson, number 23, is in there. The call was on Steele.
They're trying to run a screen here. Their Hodge tries to make the move on him, and Steele just hangs on. Well, he just had a little bit of the right hand on him, just not allowing him to cross over, and they threw the flag.
Penalty moves it up to the 48. It's another first down for the Steelers with 33 seconds left.
What he's doing in the huddle is he's telling his receivers, if you catch the ball close to the sideline, try and get out of bounds and save me that one timeout.
Mike Webster, the veteran center, snaps to Brister. 2-man rush again. Outside to Hodge. Hodge run out of bounds by Steele at the 43. Now they're dropping 9 guys, and still Hodge is covered by a linebacker coming out of the backfield.
If you're gonna rush 2 and drop 9, then you better cover everybody man-to-man real tight, and that's what they didn't do that particular time. If you play 2 guys back to prevent the deep pass, you can put 6, 7 people. You can double up anybody you want up front, and I think they have to rush more than 2. I don't care. The best pass defense is a good rush, even in the 2-minute drill.
6 defensive backs now on the field for the Oilers. 28 seconds to go. 2nd and 1.
Imagine Houston rushing 2 people there. Now they're back to what we expect from the Houston Oilers. What's the bunch?
They come with 3 and Hodge on the draw down to the 38. Steelers will have to hurry up with 20 seconds and counting.
It's okay. They've got plenty of time. Bubby's just got to relax a little bit.
and throws it down to stop the clock. And it stops at 10 seconds. So time for one play. Remember, they do have one timeout.
That's exactly right, and this is what sets this play up. The defense would expect you to try and throw to the perimeters, the outside. Get a pattern where you can complete a pass out of bounds and stop the clock. But you have the one timeout. So what you can do is you run one or two guys on in patterns and a couple of guys on out patterns, but you really want to try and get the ball deep into the middle of the football field so that you can use the timeout. You also tell your receiver, as soon as he catches it, fall down.
They need 15 yards to get into a 40-yard field goal attempt for Anderson. Oilers jump but get back. Here comes the big rush. Brister unloads. Blitz couldn't come up with it. Patrick Allen on the coverage and 5 seconds left.
Now you got to try and put it into the end zone. There's no way you have enough time to have a receiver catch a ball and get into a situation to kick a field goal. So you may as well just line it up and put it into the end zone and let's see what happens.
Ball spotted from 38. From here, it would be 55 yards. Anderson's long is 52.
This is one of those situations where a guy like Brister, a quarterback, you have to be really careful because he could run around and find somebody open deep.
Brister throws it far downfield in the end zone. Lips is there, and it's knocked away. And Brister took a shot last play in the first half. But the Steelers, especially on defense, have played very well here tonight and have a 17-13 lead at the half in the Astrodome. We'll be back for the second 2 quarters, but right now, let's join Chris Berman.
All right, Mike Patrick and Joe Theismann, thank you very much. It's a game that pretty much the Oilers felt they would have in hand. The Steelers have obviously other opinions. The Oilers, perhaps earlier today, a little upset that they didn't get a loss from the Cincinnati Bengals in their home game today against the San Diego Chargers.
A passing tree.
That's right. Everybody thinks that the offenses in the National Football League are complex, but they're really not. I'm going to show you here what the tree looks like. And those are the numbers that denote the different pass routes that receiver runs. I'll take this receiver, for example. First of all, if he goes out and runs a hook, that's a 0. If he goes out and runs an out, that's a 1. A quick post would be a 2. An out would be a 3. An in would be a 4. A deeper out would be a 5. A deep curl would be a 6. A deep corner pattern would be a 7. The deep post would be an 8. And the up pattern would be a 9 pattern. Now, each receiver has the same number called. For example, this receiver will run a 3 pattern. This receiver will run a 9. This receiver will run a 6. And this receiver will run a 3 pattern. So, for example, this pattern would be 3-9-6-3. That's how it would be called in the huddle. And there you see Moon go back, and he just takes a look down the field and decides to hit the 6 pattern. Now, that's how simple the passing trees really are in the National Football League. Everybody tells them, you go out and run a 6, a 3, a 4, and that really carries over through every football team. See, even you could call a play now, Mike.
Yeah, but the problem is with young wide receivers, you give them the play in the huddle, and they got to find and they go down and see a defensive back, and they do something they're not supposed to.
Well, they look down at the fingers, and they go, 3 or 2, which one should I run?
All right. Well, we'll see what they run in the second half. The Steelers are leading the Oilers 17-13, and we'll be back with more on ESPN in just a moment. 17, the Houston Oilers. 13, a sellout crowd, 51,666 at the Astrodome. And the Oilers, of course, trying to keep pace with Cincinnati and set up a showdown right here in the Dome next week against the Bengals. Take a look at our halftime statistics. Passing yards for the Steelers, 123. 80 of those, Joe, came on one play.
Well, the offense basically for the Steelers, Mike, has been an F. The 32 yards rushing, you mentioned the 80. That only leaves 53 yards passing really through the entire first half. The Oilers have controlled this game offensively and defensively, but the one area you wouldn't expect the Steelers to have the edge, and they do, and that is in the special teams when they had that big kickoff return.
Exactly.
And not many penalties, but a lot of taunting, a lot of finger pointing, a lot of near scuffles. I think the officials have to deserve a lot of credit for the way they've handled this game.
The Oilers have cut down on their penalties in recent weeks. They still lead the league in that department. Zendejas will kick off to start the second half. And the two burners, Dwight Stone, number 20, and Rod Woodson, to the top of your screen, number 26, are back to receive. Stone returned a kick in the first half, 92 yards for a touchdown. Woodson has also had a 92-yarder this year. Woodson from the goal line. Lord at the 16. Eugene Steele was down there to make the stop. Here's what the Steelers did. They missed a field goal on a nice 9-play drive, then another 9-play drive, and they got the Gary Anderson field goal. And then the kick return of 92 yards put them up. Then 3 plays in punt. Another touchdown. That was the 80-yard bomb, and then the half stopped that possession. Richard Johnson is in at the left corner for Steve Brown, who has a dislocated finger in the first half. Warren Williams. Hit by William Fuller, the defensive end, as he picked up about 5. Second and 5.
Yep. Sure is.
Brister brings him out. Hodgson followed the back. Excuse me, Hodgson Williams and Warren Williams did not get out of the backfield. Eugene Steele, who was in there as an inside linebacker, made the tackle.
Eugene Steele he has a multi-helmets now. We ought to explain something about the helmets. When the Pittsburgh Steelers, when the Houston Oilers do well on their special teams, the award they get is a Army helmet, because their special teams, when they take this field, it's like taking the beach. Tough, you know, they're storming the beach, they're coming in to take it. Steele has multi-helmets, and he also has become really quite a leader on that defense. Very aggressive guy. We saw him get the holding penalty there in the 2-minute situation. Now he makes a big play on the top.
He looks a little wide. It's because he's 5'10", 240. 3rd and 4, Hodge on the delay. Just got back to the line of scrimmage. Steele and Childress made the stop again. There is a penalty flag down on the play. We'll check it.
And I believe they're going to call that on roughing the quarterback. Now, Brister, remember, you never know when he may run a bootleg, so the defense has to be aware. And on this particular play, I think he carried out his fake and got cold cocked.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, 93 defense, unnecessary shot to the quarterback.
Robert Lyles, the linebacker.
Now watch the top. You see where the number 20 is on the top of your screen. Watch up and look up to the right after Brister makes the handoff. Now remember, he's a running quarterback. He's sort of faking the bootleg, and he just gets run over by Lyles. I mean, you know, you talk about being in the wrong place at the right time. That was it. First, you pick up a first down for your ball play.
Lyles just powdered it. And it's a first down past the 38-yard line. Brister lifts his wide open pass underthrown, and he couldn't hold it. Allen was trying to close on the coverage, but after a great fake to Rodney Carter, Brister threw it downfield, and Lips appeared to misjudge the ball as it went through his hands.
Well, no, you know what the problem is? You see the official in the way. I believe that's Jack Vaughn, the field judge down the field. Lips had to take a look and see where the official was, and that's why he slowed up to make the play. But this is some great play action right here to set it up. And this is, I think, what Pittsburgh's going to have to do. They pound the ball. Now, Brister just sticks it on his belly and does an excellent job.
Good job by Carter to carry out the fake, too. Straight drop back. He wants to screen. Instead throws to Hodge down the sideline. A Another flag is down. Hodge was out of bounds.
Well, that time, Craig Wolfley's going to get flagged for being an eligible man downfield. But you can't blame him for that, because when the quarterback sets a screen up, his job is to count 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, release, and go block somebody. He doesn't know what's going on behind him. You know, you got to credit this one to Bubby's youthful enthusiasm.
Ineligible downfield on a forward pass, 73, 10 yards, still second down.
So you can make it 3rd and 10 or 2nd and 20. They'll take the penalty and make it 2nd and 20. Wolfley, who has 2 brothers in this business. Ron plays at Phoenix. Dale is a linebacker, still in college at West Virginia.
I don't necessarily agree with this particular play. They're taking the penalty.
I don't either.
I think they should have just played 3rd and 10 and gotten the ball back. Now they give them 2 more shots at picking up 20 yards.
Carter on the running play gets out to the 32-yard line. Got back about 4 of the 20 yards.
There are points in a game where a quarterback has to use his head. This is a play where Brister has to be smart and not turn the ball over. Now, that defensive line of Houston is just mixing everything up. The Steelers like to trap block up front, but when you've got 9 or 8 people charging into every gap, there's too many people to block, and you just can't move them out.
If you want to have a little fun, watch Mike Webster, number 52, the center up front, playing his 218th game for the Steelers. They show blitz and they come with it. A flag is down. Brister throws incomplete. Intended for Weezy Thompson. And it looked like the ball got there just as Thompson turned around. The penalty will go against the Steelers. It won't matter.
2 men moving. 2 men moving. Penalty is declined. 4th down.
Here comes Newsom on the punt.
Now that credit goes to the home field's advantage of having the fans here, because both players tried to move up to where they could hear Bubby call the plays. They couldn't get back and get set in time.
Willie Drury, back there for the injured Kenny Johnson, had a 7-yard return on his first attempt. And Houston will be coming after Newsom. Dermontti Dawson is snapper. Right up the middle, and they almost got there. Drury, fair catch at the Houston 28, a 39-yard punt. Timeout, 3rd quarter, 4-point ball game.
With its 20
Game from Houston is brought to you by Ford and your Ford dealer. Have you driven a Ford lately? By Olympus, makers of 35mm cameras and video. And by AT&T, the right choice. You're watching the NFL on ESPN. The Houston Oilers down by 4 points, 3rd quarter. And they have the ball at their own 28-yard line. Drew Hill to midfield. Larry Griffin, 22, knocked him down. But it's a 1st down. And here's what the Oilers were able to do in the first half. Their first drive snuffed out by a fumble. Had to punt on the 2nd drive after 5 plays. Then they got the field goal after an 8-play drive. And then their touchdown after a 7-play drive to put their 10 points on the board. They made it 13 with another field goal and had to punt as they ended the half. Moon changing the play. 3-man rush, swings it to Rozier and threw it low and in front of it. One of the few bad tosses Warren Moon has had tonight.
Well, that time Keith Gary got in on the play, number 92, and just made Moon change his release just a little bit. Rozier had stopped. Moon thought he was going to continue up the field.
The Oilers won the earlier meeting in Pittsburgh 34-14. Game that featured a lot of turnovers, something this game has not had.
Well, and also I think that the score was misleading in that game. They had a couple of blocked punts, a series of penalties that kept drives alive, 5 personal fouls. score didn't reflect, I don't think, the intensity of that game.
4 wide receivers in. Takes the 3-man rush. Wide open. Willie Drury fights his way down to the 27-yard line. Thomas Everett made the stop, but it's a gain of 24.
Top of your screen, Willie Drury. Delton Hall just drops back into pass coverage. He's looking down the field. They're so concerned with Drew Hill that Willie Drury and Ernest Givens, if they're not careful, are going to wind up doing a lot of damage. And there you see the big reception, 27 yards by Willie Drury.
Spotted at the Pittsburgh 27-yard line. 10-14 to go third quarter. Highsmith the lone setback. Hill, and just tips at the last minute. Woodson with a great play. Speed can make up for a lot of things.
Boy, I'll say it sure can. He's flat deep, and there's absolutely no question. All this is a burst by Rod Woodson right at the end. He just does get his hands on it at the end. That's a touchdown. Then you see a smile on Drew Hill's face. He knows he had 6 on that one.
Oilers stayed with their 4 wide receivers on a 1st and 10 situation. Now they'll go back to 2 setbacks and 3 wide out. The audio here. Cut down at 25. Greg Carr and Hardy Nickerson helped out. Carr out of Auburn.
Talking to Tony Dungy, the defensive coordinator of the Pittsburgh Steelers, he said, the key to this football game tonight for us is to be successful on 1st and 2nd down, but see if we can force Houston into 3rd and long situations, not let them pound the ball at us. They have done that, and they've managed to keep a 4-point lead by stuffing Houston basically on 1st and 10 when they're trying to run the football.
They have them in the 3rd and 7 right now. 4 wideouts again. Moon throws high, intended for Givens. Greg Carr was right behind him, but Warren Moon just about 3 feet too high on that toss. And then Dejans will come on to try one from 41. After missing 8 of his first 12, he has now been on a roll, 13 out of his last 16. Brent Pease is his holder, and Pease holding has contributed to that streak, Bill.
Yes, it really has. In the beginning, he didn't have him as a holder, and really kicking is just confidence, and he has it in his holder.
Hit the upright. Zendejas from 41 yards out, plenty of distance, but it just went clank.
Clank?
Clank.
What happened? All right, here you go. This is what happens. This is the clank. Here it is. It's just hooked a little bit left and clank. I mean, that's basically what it is. When we return, Pittsburgh 17, Houston 13.
Home, 16 out of the last 17 non-strike games here have resulted in Oiler wins. But it's Pittsburgh ball and the Steelers lead. And Brister dragged down by the ankles. John Grimsley, an excellent open field tackle.
You can see the usefulness of Bubby Brister when he saw the open field. Instead of trying to buy some time and release the football, he just tucked the ball away and was going to play running back. You know, he's the kind of right now he's a linebacker. He's got the linebacker mentality, and he's in a quarterback body. I mean, sooner or later he'll mature a little bit and say, "Hey, look, I don't want to take these guys on head to head. I'll just sort of dump the ball off and let the little guys and receivers and backs get hit."
Troy Johnson is in as one of 3 wide receivers. He's number 85 to the near side. Said they're going to lift. Lift this blast, and as he got to the 30, Donaldson unloaded.
Say, if Jeff Donaldson doesn't make the Pro Bowl this year, it will be a gross injustice. He is an excellent free safety. Watches the quarterback's eyes. As soon as that ball is released, Donaldson's already in the area and just delivering blows to everyone.
Spotted just outside the 30, 3rd and 3 for the Steelers. Number 2 in tackle is Jeff Donaldson on this play. Five-man rush, unloads in a hurry. Should be enough for a first down at the 34-yard line. Out of the backfield, Carter. And brought down by Keith Fawcett, the other safety.
Oh, Rodney Carter's doing everything tonight. We saw him in the first quarter, early in the first quarter, throw the halfback option pass on short yardage. Now he comes out as a pass receiver and makes the catch.
Brister now 9 out of 17, 148 yards. The Goodyear Blimp America, handled by pilot John Moran out of Plain, Texas. Been flying the blimp for more than 20 years.
They got it into the stadium. I can't believe it.
I can't either. What was that? Brister bombs away again. Lift. Touchdown. Holy cow. Brister has hit Lewis Lift for 65 and 80 yards tonight. Patrick Allen, the victim on that one.
And there is a stunned football coach, Jerry Glando. All this is set back and throw it as far as you can. Louis Lift just runs by Patrick Allen. And, you know, again, I hate to say it, but sitting down and visiting him with him yesterday at the hotel, he said very plainly, I don't think that Houston's corners play man-to-man very well. And he's proven it.
Gary Anderson, as we have moving along the line. Before tonight, the longest completion against the Oilers this season had been 58 yards. And they exceeded that total twice tonight. Brister and Lift, quite a combination. Lift, 4 catches, 166 yards, and 2 touchdowns. We told you he was back to his form of a couple of years ago.
Worked out with John Kolb in the offseason. He said he thought he knew what working out was until John Kolb got a hold of him. Because he had so many dials and numbers on his watch, he thought he was in the Olympic trial.
From 5 yards farther back, Anderson with the extra point. And the Steelers shocking the Houston Oilers. They're up 24-13. That's defensive back Patrick Allen, just burned for 65 yards by what has been a big play offense tonight for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And it's 24-13, and there is Lift, 144 yards on 4 catches tonight and 2 touchdowns. Lorenzo White picks it up off the turf. Got a catch. Gary Anderson the beat. Touchdown. The first touchdown of his NFL career. The rookie out of Michigan State goes 90 yards. Zendejas adds the extra point. Before that return, the longest kickoff return Lorenzo White had made this year was 18 yards. This one goes 90.
What's going to happen is the ball's going to be kicked to the left of your screen. Now what happens is you see the Steelers, they don't stay in their lanes. Everybody starts to converge on the ball. He finds a gap in an alley. Eugene Seals gets a great block and opens up the hole, and then it's a foot race, and you don't expect Gary Anderson to catch him, and he doesn't.
for Lorenzo White, the third tailback on this club behind Rozier and Pinkett. And it's been a night of big play. That was a monster for the Oilers, and they're back within 4. The Steelers, who were up so high just a moment ago, now know they're back in the ball game, up by only 4 points on the road. The fireworks may not be over. Stone and Woodson deep to receive. 2 key returns for in a game off kickoff ties an NFL record. Stone. A little shorter than the last one he cut. This one gets back to the 16-yard line. Richard Johnson made the tackle.
Now, all of a sudden, Bubby Brister is in the NFL big time. I mean, he's, played in big games. But here he is. This is a championship game for the Oilers. They have to keep pace with Cincinnati and Cleveland. And Brister has a chance now to elevate himself a little bit on his football team and take charge and say, all right, look, come on, guys, don't worry about it. Let's try and ignore the noise as best you can. And if they get a first down, they can quiet the place down a little bit.
Picks up 5. Merrill Hodge, 11 carries tonight, but only 32 yards. His last 6 games, he's been averaging over 70. And yes, we are in Houston.
That guy's wearing his bathroom mirror on himself.
2nd and 7. They gave him only a gain of 3 on the last. Christopher Lockett incomplete. He was being ridden on the corner by Chris Dishman.
That's a good, you wouldn't expect that. I mean, that's just a good call. They come up, they're playing bump and run, man-to-man. They're right in the face of the receivers. Bubby looked out. It's probably an audible. He looked out and he said, all right, fine. If you're going to do this, watch this. I'll still take shots. The guy's fearless. He's got ice water in his veins.
3rd and 7. Brister throws outside, lifts one inside, 4th down. You showed us the passing tree. He took the wrong branch.
Well, he threw a 3 and he ran a 6. I mean, it's that simple. Sometimes the numbers get confused. They sound a lot alike. 3, 6. Watch Lyles now. Ouija Thompson is crossing into territory. You have to look and find the Houston linebacker. You just can't go running through the middle like it's a stroll through the park.
Newsom to punt. Drury is deep. Drury with a very late and short fair catch signal makes it at the 35. After a 45-yard punt, it's still a 4-point game. Lorenzo White, who may have turned this game around, certainly you can feel the momentum change as Houston has the football now at their own 35, down by 4 points. 5:29 to go in the 3rd quarter. Mike Patrick along with Joe Theismann. Glad you could join us on a Sunday night here on ESPN. If you joined us late, you have missed some unbelievable plays. The shortest of 4 touchdowns, 65 yards. Forward again for Hill, and nice defense by Woodson. Flag down late. going to be tough to call.
Pass interference, 26 defense, first down.
Boy, he had inside position.
I got to take a look at this thing here. They've really laxed the rules on defensive backs a lot this year. They allow them incidental contact, particularly if a ball is underthrown a little bit. We'll get a chance to take a look at it. Ron Woodson is vehemently complaining. He's got to be careful he doesn't get himself a penalty. Now there's the play. This flag is thrown. Now the flag is being thrown. The only thing I can think of is that he might have had his hand on the back of Drew Hill as he went down.
No way. First down at the 31-yard line. Rozier cuts it back, got to the 27. Real took a shot. Hardy, Nickerson, and Thomas Everett brought him down. Now the flag came in late, and nothing happened late. And Woodson is still hacked at this.
There's another shot of it going down the field. Now, the only thing I can think of is see his left hand. The two of them are fighting for the ball. I don't believe that's pass interference. I got to be honest with you. The ball is thrown inside. Drew Hill does not have a chance to catch it, and that's incidental contact.
No, that's an awful call.
I mean, you get two heavyweights. Let him punch it out.
Second and 6. Givens to the 6-yard line. A 20-yard gain, Everett, Florida.
This is the play-action fake to Rozier. Now, Givens from the right part of your screen, you'll see him cross. They've run Drew Hill up the field. You see him clear out Woodson. Now, the ball's a little bit behind, but oh my goodness, does Thomas Everett unload on him. That's part of his helmet that comes flying out.
Givens still checking to see if all the parts are there. Willie Brewery will come into the ballgame on 1st and goal. Rozier. Trapped in the backfield, and a great play by the nose man, Gerald Williams, who got penetration for a big loss.
Gerald Williams, number 98, right in the middle, fights off Bruce Matthews, the right guard, and does get the penetration. That's what happens when you run those sweeps against these little guys. When you have a big offensive line, it's very important that you get a lot of activity by that nose man to try and get penetration, allow the linebackers to come and fill in. Williams does a nice job up front.
With all the problems on the defensive line, his play has been lost a little bit. You see the success that the Oilers have had this year, but now they're facing 2nd and goal from the 12. Somebody jumped early. Williams takes the tackle again. This time moves 16, but it looked like the Steelers jumped. Let's see if they were pulled off. They weren't. So they'll give back 5 yards.
Offside, 64, defense, 2nd down.
That's Jerry Reese, the defensive end.
Top left-hand part of your screen, you see him start to come up the field before the ball is snapped. Now, this has been something that's haunted Pittsburgh. Last game, they had 7 offsides, 7 defensive offsides, 6 offsides officially, and an encroachment, which is nothing more than an offside. That still results in a 5-yard penalty.
2nd and goal now from the 7. Givens is back into the ball game. He'll go wide left. Drew Hill comes to the near side. Pinkett was in his tailback. Moon buys some time. He'll try to run it. Driven out of bounds at the 2. And Darren Jordan makes sure he pays for it a little bit. Now 3rd and goal from this 2-yard line.
Now they bring in the big people. This is Houston's version of a jumbo offensive line. They bring in defensive tackle. Don Maggs, number 78, comes in and will play the tight end position. He's reported to the official, let everybody know that he's there. see him going up top left. He's a tight end. Jamie Williams, number 87, will be the tight end down the lower part of the screen.
Third and goal at the 2. Darren Jordan got penetration, but Warren Moon outran him to the corner.
Well, Darren Jordan, who scored 3 fumbles this year, makes a rookie mistake. If the play is going away and you have contain on a quarterback, particularly somebody who you know runs the football, what you do is you take a position to contain him. You don't try and chase the ball down the field. This is a mental mistake that cost him a touchdown.
Convert.
Moon will just fake here to the back, makes the fake throws here. Now, Jordan has him, or he thinks he has him, and Warren Moon just takes the step. He's got Jamie Williams there, but he decides to just hoof it right in for the 6.
So 23 times this year, the Oilers have had a goal-to-go situation, and 21 times they have converted touchdowns. 27-24. It has been a wild one with 2:18 still to go third quarter.
It's been a great year for Warren Moon. He's in the last year of a 5-year contract. He's got his team in a drive towards the playoffs and hopefully a Super Bowl. He's matured into a real team leader. He's got a lot on the line in this game. And one of the big goals he wants to make is he wants to make the Pro Bowl. And, you know, when you look at Boomer Esiason, who's leading the AFC, he's a lock for it, I'm sure. And I think Warren Moon is the other quarterback who could definitely be is a Pro Bowl quarterback.
They think it's a battle between him and Jim Kelly at Buffalo as to who will get that second spot.
Well, Tampa beat Buffalo today,
right?
10-5 in 9 innings, something like that. I mean,
Warren Moon talking to Jamie Williams on the sideline. The Oilers finally have the lead, 27-24. Deha's kick. Woodson at the goal line. Woodson across the 30 to the 34, almost the 35-yard line. An excellent return. Eric Bears and Chris Dishman made the tackle.
That's Mojo. He only does this when they're winning. There it is. You can see he's ready to go. He's got to work on that. Oh, with a little spike. I like the spike at the end.
He might be advised to try the icky dance instead of that roll.
Well, but he does it out of bounds, so he can't get in trouble. You know, he can't get in trouble as long as he does it out of bounds.
Warren Moon finished off the 65-yard drive for just over 3 minutes. Play action first down. Hodge on the screen. Got blockers in front of him. Merrill Hodge to midfield. 2 flags are down. An excellent screen set up by the Steelers.
Now, if they mark this from the point of the infraction, it'll still be a first down because it's about 15 yards downfield. So what the Steelers will wind up doing is they'll wind up picking up only 5 yards on this particular play. Oh no, it's against the Oilers.
So they'll tack the face mask penalty onto it.
5-yard face mask foul, 29 defense, enforced from the end of the play, first down.
Patrick Allen called for the foul.
Take a look at the right side of your screen as we roll this on a reverse angle. You'll see number 29 come into the picture. He's being blocked. Now see he's got Mike Webster's face mask. You don't do that to a Hall of Famer. I mean, they're gonna throw the flag on it. Maybe you do it to a rookie and get away with it, but not Iron Mike.
Won't do it to Webster more than once. He'll find him again. So the Steelers quickly back in Oiler territory at the 43, first and 10.
Well, remember the interference call really helped the Oilers in their drive for their last touchdown.
Did it ever?
Now the Steelers get a break and see if they can capitalize on it.
the middle, couldn't keep his balance, went down to the 30. Rodney Carter out of Purdue, who is their receiving back that they like to put in there when they throw, ran this from scrimmage, only his 27th carry all year.
And this is vintage Pittsburgh Steelers football. You trap everybody up the middle. There you see Webster take on the nose tackle. Here come the guards. The right guard pulls over. That's Brian Blankenship. And you see Carter make the slip. Now, he's thrown a pass tonight. He's caught a pass tonight. And he's run with the ball. So there you see that offensive line with Pittsburgh Steelers in their classic trapping style of play.
Webster and Blankenship with nice block. Play action. Bristol got rid of it, but Hodge couldn't get there. Good job by Bristol just to throw the ball.
Good play. Good decision. That's an awareness play. He's aware of where his receivers are. He sees the defensive guy. He throws it out in front where nobody can get it, and he won't get a flag for intentional grounding.
Robert Lyles was putting the heat on.
Here's how these guys have done tonight. Brister about 50%. Moon a little bit over 50%. Brister having those big receptions. The 80-yarder and the 65-yarder account for the yards. Brister's been sacked 3 times tonight, and Warren Moon continues on a no sack, no interception ratio. He has not thrown an interception. Moon has it in 5 of the 8 games he's played in Colorado. He's just playing smart football.
Pretty good grades for both quarterbacks. You bet. 2nd and 10. Hodge picked up the blitz. The pass incomplete, intended for Troy Johnson. And Johnson wanted a flag on that play. Chris Dishman was right with him. Well, Brister is certainly recognizing what the Oilers are doing on defense. Once again, he saw the blitz being set up and got Merrill Hodge to step up and get ready to pick it up for him.
That's right. He's very aware. He's very smart. He understands what he has to do. And I'll tell you something. Right now, he's running at about Mach 5. And it's very important that he gains his composure a little bit. You saw in that last play, he's running from tackle to tell him what to do. He's just got to take a deep breath and relax a little bit and get control of himself because he can't get out of control in this situation.
3rd and 10. Off by Robert Lyles. He would have had a touchdown. Rodney Carter, the intended receiver, but Lyles saw it coming all the way.
There's Robert Lyles, number 93, right in it. All he's doing is looking at Brister's eyes. Now he sees Rodney Carter crossing over, and he just cuts right in front of him. Now that is incidental contact right there. Lyles was going for the ball. Carter was going for the ball. No flag.
Gary Anderson will try one from 48 yards. Over his career, he's hit 2 out of 3 from this range. Partially blocked. And this may roll dead inside the 5. Somebody got a piece of the field goal that would have tied it up. And that is the first field goal blocked by the Oilers this year. They blocked 6 punts.
There you see those guys in the middle. Now they just get up in the air and get that big hand on it. One of those big guys up the middle. Number 71, Richard Byrd. The placement is good. This time, Newsom gets the laces away. Now you see how that ball is leaning? That's the way Anderson has to kick it. And because of the length of the field goal being that long, he's got to kick it low to get it out that far. And Richard Byrd got those big hands right up there. 6'4", 267, plays the nose tackle. That time he jumps and times it right.
47 seconds to go, 3rd quarter. Still Oilers by 3. Rozier. Not a lot of running room, and the Steeler defense has done a good job. Hardy Nickerson in on another tackle. He and Little have been very active inside for Pittsburgh.
Well, they've really tested Ron Woodson all night tonight, the offense of the Houston Oilers. They stayed away from Dwayne Woodruff except for one pass early, a deep one in the ball game, and they've run Givens across. So what it looks like they want to do is they're going to clear with Drew Hill and run Ernest Givens underneath the pass route, underneath the pass defense, if Pittsburgh wants to continue to play some type of a zone defense.
Houston is not going to try to get off another play. They'll have a couple of minutes to think about the situation as we end the third quarter with the Oilers at home leading the Steelers by 3.
And it's one thing to drive it down somebody's throat, but when you hit them for big plays like that, really changes the complexion. And I don't think that the Houston Oilers really expected the Pittsburgh Steelers to come out and do that to them. They would have thought that maybe we'd be able to do it to Pittsburgh, but it's been a great football game because of the big plays. No quarterback has wilted under the pressure. All the special teams are playing real well. We're seeing touchdowns on both sides. It's the kind of a football game you're going to expect, and I think see out of this division with Cincinnati, Cleveland, Pittsburgh will get better, and Houston. Down the road, you're going to see 10-6, 9-7 possibly winning this division because they're going to keep on beating one another.
And the Oilers, of course, need a win to stay one game behind Cincinnati. Cleveland also won today. And if the Oilers win tonight, it would set up a big showdown next week against the Bengals right here in the Dome. Houston ball at their own 33. Moon again with all day. Highsmith caught it and lost it. And the Steelers have it. Darren Jordan came up with the football, and the third time that Highsmith has had trouble holding on to it tonight.
Well, they had one official call it a reception and a fumble, and I wouldn't be surprised this one takes another beat because there's a little bit of confusion out there. I don't know what they're going to do, but here we'll get a good look at it. Moon just drops this off the highs. No,
I don't.
Never has it. I'll tell you a funny story. It's the same thing about the one they called the reception earlier that he bobbled. This time, you know, he gets a lucky break here. They call this one incomplete, and this is a correct call by the official.
So it's 2nd and 10. Once the play starts, there's no more review. Moon on the screen to Rozier. Rozier still on his feet, rushed out of bounds by Greg Carr, but he has the first down.
Rozier has been the guy that has carried the load for this football team, both running the ball. They pound him up, and I remember we did the Washington game back here on our first ESPN broadcast, the 9th game of the season.
Right.
Joe Gibbs referred to the Houston running backs as being the 5 best combined in the National Football League, and Rozier is the spearhead of that group. Of course, Alan Pinkett, who has really playing time has fallen off a little bit. Lorenzo White, Spencer Tillman, and Alonzo Highsmith.
Pinkett now in his tailback will try it on the ground, gets up to the 48, very near the 49-yard line. Brought down by the nose man, Gerald Williams, and Greg Lloyd, the right outside linebacker, number 95, and on stop again. Lloyd has torn up both knees. The 6th-round draft choice out of Fort Valley State. And really, the Steelers have a lot of players on this team out of smaller schools, and it really takes them a little bit longer to adapt to this level of play.
I absolutely agree with you. When you don't have a chance to be exposed to that big-time college program, it takes a little while to get used to all these people and all the pressure.
2nd and 8. Hits away and intercepted by Woodruff. Dwayne Woodruff with his 28th career interception. There is a flag down on the play. It looked like David Little was the man who tipped it, intended for the tight end Jamie Williams. It's a clip on the return. Steelers will keep the football.
Warren Moon throws a flat ball. And what I mean by a flat ball, Mike, is he doesn't put a lot of...
Personal foul, clipping, number 95, during a run back, and forced from the end of the run.
They're going to put the Steelers back in the hole, but Warren Moon throws a flat ball. Now, this ball does not get very high. You see how flat it is? And it really just hits Little right in the back of the head. If he gets that ball up a little bit more, on a little more of a rainbow arc to Jamie Williams, he'll have a completion.
So the Steelers are marched all the way back to their 14-yard line. 28 career interceptions for Dwayne Woodruff.
And just his 2nd this year.
Steelers secondary's been banged up. Woodson has been the only guy who has been able to start every week.
I mean, he is the elder statesman in that secondary by 6 years. Lupe Sanchez has 3 years of experience. He's the only other one that's even close.
Stops at the 10. He'll lose 4, and it was Johnny Meade.
I said it before. I'll say it again. I just don't believe Pittsburgh's going to be able to run effectively against this Houston defense. They've got too many people at the line of scrimmage. Houston is going to challenge Pittsburgh to go up top, and this is the perfect situation in the game to do it. They've got 90 yards of field to defend. Make them defend it all.
Last week, because of some injuries, Meade was a down lineman at 235. Didn't like that a whole lot. He'd rather play linebacker. 2nd and 14. And they throw it behind Warren Williams, who had not turned around. So that'll make it 3rd and 14. Just the situation the Steelers don't want to be in.
Well, this is a case where Brister has to be real careful what he does with the football. You want to give, Harry Newsom, the best punter in the league. He'll kick the thing a mile. What you have to do is make a good, smart decision with the football. Protect the football. That's the #1 thing that ought to be on Bobby Brister's mind right now.
Brister, 11 out of 25, 230 yards. He's hit only one of his last 7, though. 4-man run. Almost complete, almost intercepted. Intended for Charles Lockett. It looked like the ball would get through to him, but Domingo Bryant gets a hand on it.
Brister sets in the pocket. Now what they do is they set this up as like a dash, a rollout. Now Brister does a good job. It gives you an idea how strong his arm is. But now Lockett, here's a classic case. You've got a rookie wide receiver in Charles Lockett in 2 years, and Louis Lipsy played 5. Lips came back for a reception earlier in this game. Lockett just stood there and tried to let the ball come to him.
They come after Newsom. He gets it out on a low line drive. Drury can't field it, takes it on the bounce, and is tripped up at the 43-yard line. So Newsom got a 45-yarder out of there, and Drury lost 2 yards on the return. Houston is brought to you by Cadillac Motor Car Company. Discover why the only way to travel is Cadillac style. By Levi's Dockers. If you're not wearing Dockers, you're just wearing pants. And by Allstate. For home, auto, and life insurance, you're in good hands with Allstate. Willie Drury being attended to, and it looked like he injured his left arm. Drury is already the fill-in kick returner and the 3rd or 4th wide receiver on this ball club, and here's what happens.
Watch when he puts his left arm down to the ground. You'll see it looks like it might be in the elbow area. He puts it down, and it snaps into a very awkward position, and we will not run this again out of deference to the public that's watching this game and a guy who experienced something similar to that with a break.
I remember sitting at home watching the endless replays of what happened to you, and I think you're right. Once is all about your stomach can stand.
Well, hopefully it looks like it might be possibly whatever. I mean, it's something to his left arm, and we'll certainly let you know exactly what it is. But we'll get back to you as soon as we can. Fortunately, he's getting up, and he's having a chance to walk to the sideline with him.
Isn't it ever?
I tell you, these little wide receivers, they hate this name. I mean, they'd like to change this sucker to the greenhouse. Let's plant flowers in here or something. It's a house of pain.
Because the paybacks come against them.
That's right.
Oilers with their best field position of the night start at their own 43. They're up by 3 points, 12:39 left in the game. Highsmith. Steelers have done a nice job against the running game. That was Woodson up in the corner to help in a hurry.
Well, that's what happens is you get that strong support from the safeties, and it really shuts down the running game. You can see by Willie Drury's face that he's in a lot of pain, and they're going to take him into the dressing room and I'm sure examine that arm.
He's from West Virginia. He's tough.
Yeah, he's tough. But I can feel for it. I know what that's all about. That's the worst ride you can ever take in anything.
Oilers have averaged less than 4 yards a carry on the ground tonight. Move the throw on 2nd and 11. Again, plenty of time. Throwing for Hill, and Hill is just ripped away from the ball. Another great hit, this time Thomas Everett. And Everett is down.
Again, a long pass downfield. Drew Hill's running a crossing pattern. This is what the Oilers have chosen to do. And Thomas Everett leaves Ernest Givens and just sticks that shoulder right into the side of Drew Hill, knocking the ball loose. And he's down. Here it comes from the other side, a reverse angle.
Perfect timing.
He just levels him. And then Drew Hill comes down and lands on him.
And Everett did not play last week because of a knee injury. We'll check on his condition in a moment. .45 to go from Houston, a 3-point ball game. The Oilers with the ball facing a 3rd and 10. That's Thomas Everett on the sideline. He's up, walking around, looks fine, should be back in on the next series. Larry Griffin and Delton Hall have come into the Steelers lineup. They have 5 defensive backs in there on 3rd and long. Boy, this has been a hard-hitting game. So we've only had 11 penalties total. Deep over the middle of the hill. It's picked off. Intercepted by Larry Griffin. Griffin fumbled when he hit. Moon can't get to it. Steeler football. Larry Griffin with his 2nd interception of the season. The free agent from North Carolina.
Again, Warren Moon trying to go down the field against the zone defense. Larry Griffin playing center field. Now he sees Givens. Now this is just a great pick right here. That's Drew Hill. He just steals the ball right out of Hill's hand. That's his 2nd interception of the year. The free agent out of the University of North Carolina. Now, the receiver does an excellent job of trying to strip the ball away. That's Leonard Harris trying to make a play and get him to fumble, but it went out of bounds.
Coming into this game, Warren Moon had 4 interceptions all year. That's the 2nd tonight. Is viciously stopped the clock.
Crystal, the ball will be placed on the 38-yard line, spot of the fumble. 1st down.
They were checking to see if his knee was possibly down or that the ball was knocked loose prior to or after his knee hit the ground. So it'll be where the ball went out of bounds.
That's at the 38, nearly in Gary Anderson's field goal range. Carter and Hodge, the running back. Hodge to Lips on the reverse. Lips down to the Oilers' 31-yard line. Patrick Allen made the tackle. Chuck Knoll pulling out everything from the playbook tonight. There's the Goodyear Blimp America. Based just north of Houston. They had a short trip this week from Spring, Texas. And getting a great view of downtown Houston in the Astrodome.
When you watch this football game, you would not know the records of these teams. You wouldn't think that Pittsburgh is a very young football team building towards the future, and Houston is fighting for a division championship.
You wouldn't believe these guys are 3 and 10. Brister on 2nd and 3. Preston Gothard is tight end to the 21, 1st down. Only the 11th catch of the year for Preston Gothard.
Excellent read by Bubby Brister. This is a blitz by Keith Bostic, number 25. He comes in from the left side of the screen. Now Bubby reads it. Now you see him come right into the screen. That's Bostic trying to knock the ball down. The job is the strong safety, or in Bostic's case, number 25. He's responsible for the tight end. If he blitzes, the quarterback has to get the ball up because there's nobody there to block him. Good read by Brister.
Brister's now thrown for 240 yards on 12 out of 27. Hodge Only a couple. Spot near the Oiler 18. John Grimsley on the tackle again. 9 minutes, 48 seconds to go. For the Steelers, this means nothing except pride and building on the future.
And plus, it should take some of the heat off of Chuck Noll and his rebuilding program. You got to remember, the backfield that starts tonight, this is one of 7 different backfields that have started for the Pittsburgh Steelers on offense. And when the defense is on the field, it's the same situation. 7 different combinations. You don't get consistency when you've got a bunch of people playing the same position.
2nd and 7. Brister guns it to Hodge. He dives forward, very close to a first down. Needed to get to the 11. It depends on the spot. Grimsley and Smith, the inside linebackers, on the tackle.
Look at a quarterback's eyes. You know, they say the eyes are the windows to the soul and all that. That guy's got a tough soul. I mean, he really does. The eye, that is bottled intensity. He's directing traffic to the sidelines right now. He's telling them what he wants to do, and he's acknowledging what they're sending in. I mean, he's very, very in control of this football game from the offense of the Pittsburgh Steelers standpoint.
Here's the measurement, and it is a first down. They're the AFC Central standings right now. Cincinnati and Cleveland both winning this afternoon. Houston, with a loss tonight, would fall into a tie with Cleveland, with Cincinnati coming up next week. But if they win the last 3 games, they win the AFC Central. And Cincinnati comes to town next Sunday. Warren Williams, Carter, down to the 5-yard line. A field goal would tie if the Steelers want the lead. Carter getting a lot more action as a running back than he's used to. Normally comes in as a 3rd or 2nd and long pass receiver, and there's Gary Anderson.
I don't think they're playing for a tie in this situation. There's 8 minutes to go in the quarter. Be a good time for maybe a little play action underneath and try and hit one of those wide receivers.
Contact up front, and a flag goes down. It looked like Richard Byrd, the nose man, may have made some contact up front.
Encroachment, 71 defense, half the distance.
He may have touched the football. I think that's what Bubby was pointing at. He said, hey, look. And Byrd knows he got caught.
Byrd filling in for Doug Smith, who is missing his 4th and last game because of a substance abuse suspension. A half-the-distance penalty puts it between the 2 and the 3. They need to get just inside the 1 for a first down.
Now you change your thinking. You go back. You've got 2 plays, 3 plays to hammer in from this distance. I think you run the football.
Hodge. Touchdown Steelers. And it got awful quiet in here in a hurry.
Well, you talk about an offensive line. Of course, Mike Webster anchors that thing down. There comes the pulling guard, Brian Blankenship, number 60. And he just creates a big hole for Merrill Hodge to just walk on into the end zone untouched. John Grimsley following the flow, and he tries to fill. There's nobody home. Big block by Brian Blankenship, number 60.
Anderson nearly blocked, but he got it through. Merrill Hodge with his 3rd rushing touchdown of the season. Steelers by 4. Great lineup of bowl games. Joe and I will be in Jacksonville, Florida for the Mazda Gator Bowl, Michigan State and Georgia. Nice way to spend New Year's.
Yeah, it is. Vince Dooley got his 200th against Georgia Tech last week. The Bulldogs up against the Spartans of Michigan State.
They won 6 in a row after a terrible start. But here, the Steelers up by 4, kicking off. Leonard Harris a yard deep. Did not make it back to the 20. Stopped near the 17-yard line. Delton Hall made the tackle. Sports Center, of course, will follow our telecast. We have 7:26 to go here in Houston. Bill Patrick and John Saunders, and then the NFL Primetime will be on again right after Sports Center. They'll be talking about the Eddie Murray trade confirmed today, and also a little conversation with Wayne Gretzky and how things are going in Los Angeles. And we understand Mike Schmidt has re-signed with the Philadelphia Phillies.
I think he could be the next coach there, too. Is that right? Yeah, I think he wants to coach. I think he has aspirations, too, and he certainly qualifies.
Warren Moon, who has thrown 2 interceptions tonight after only 4 all year long, brings them out. Rozier got up to the 21, maybe the 22-yard line. Thomas Everett and Hardy Nickerson in on the stop.
Yeah, everybody has nicknames on the field. You know, people have different nicknames. They call guys big and hulky and smash. Mine for Thomas Everett is the missile. I mean, anybody that's carrying the football, he's just like a missile going after him. Just comes in and wham. He's nasty. Oh, he is. If it's breathing, it's holding a ball, I'm going to hit it.
Ball spotted at the 22 at 2nd and 5. 6:48 to go in the game, time becoming a factor. Rozier again. 5 more, and a lot more after that. Got away from Woodson. 40. Midfield. Dragged out of bounds. Everett made the tackle again, but a gain of 28 for Rozier.
Right side of the offensive line. Jay Pennison, the center. Bruce Matthews, the right guard. And Dean Steinkooler, number 70, the right tackle. They create a big hole over there. Rozier just does a good job of cutting back, finding his downfield blockers, and heading for his friend, the sideline.
Ties his longest run of the year, 28 yards, and he's gained 90 tonight. Alan Pinkett is in at tailback. Rozier gets the breather. Moon, busted play. Might turn it into something after all. Got 2 yards out of it. It's got to be a lonely feeling for a quarterback to turn around expecting to hand it off and nobody's home.
Trust me, it is. I have walked in that man's shoes. It's like, okay, you go ready, set, 31, 24, ready, hut, and then you go, wait a second, where'd everybody go? He does a great job here. So he does a smart thing. He says, well, if the blocking is over there to the right, maybe I'll just head over where the blocking is, and they might have some people on the ground.
Willie Drury, the report on the backup wide receiver for the Oilers, a dislocated elbow. So at least it was not a fracture of the arm.
There you see Warren sacked 4 times, or twice tonight, excuse me.
Highsmith. And Highsmith got maybe a yard. David Little made the tackle. And it looks like, at least in the last 4 plays, the Oilers decided enough of this throwing the football. Let's ram it down their throat.
Well, they feel like they're in control of this game. I think the reason they're doing it is because they want to run some time off the clock. If they can run some time off the clock, they feel like they get down into that red area, then they can throw the football a little bit. And I think they feel like they have the advantage with their receivers against Pittsburgh's secondary. Pittsburgh's just got to move it up a notch. They have to get their safeties involved more, and they have to get their linebackers closer to the line of scrimmage than they have.
3rd and 7. Comes the blitz. Moon unloads to Highsmith. He can't hold it. And for one of the few times tonight, pressure by the Steelers. Greg Lloyd was right in Moon's face, but it looked like that was a screen.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's false pressure. What he does is he sets. Now, here they get the pressure inside. Now he's just looking to unload the ball. And as it turns out, Highsmith gets a finger on it, and that's about all. And it slips away from him. He's had his hands on the ball 3 times tonight trying to catch it and has been very unsuccessful in handling it.
Woodson will go deep for Montgomery's punt. 4:47 left. Wobbly kick. Woodson with a chance to return. cutback got to the 15-yard line. A 3-yard return after a punt of 35. Eric Bears made the tackle. So with 4:35 to go, the Steelers will take over, and they're up 31-27. Hope you'll be with us tomorrow night. The championship match of the prestigious Nabisco Masters, presented by Payne Weber, Boris Becker, and Yvonne Lendl. It starts 8 o'clock Eastern. Great championship. Hope you'll be with us right here on ESPN.
Can you hit a topspin forehand? Can you hit a topspin forehand?
Not in. My topspin forehands go over the fence.
You think Mike Rozier, we're talking about Mike Rozier out there. Look at this one. He destroys every theory that you want to teach a kid about holding onto a football as a running back. Of course, he's a defensive back, that's why.
Carter and Hodge are in there behind Bristol. Carter had a nice goal across the 20 to about the 21-yard line. Bird and Bostic on the tackle.
Big play.
Also in there.
Big play by Keith Bostic, number 25. What the Steelers are trying to do is they're taking their tight end, Gothard, and they're moving him from side to side. He lines up on the right side, let's say, and that's where Keith Bostic is going to be because he's the strong safety. They set him off the line a little bit, move him to the left side, and try and get Bostic away, and then try and run back away from Keith Bostic. That's what the Steelers have tried to do all night, and they've been rather successful running away from him.
Steelers using as much of the play clock as they can. The game clock already down to 3:53. Didn't even get back to the line of scrimmage. Ray Childress just stuffed him.
And that was a result of what the Oilers practice. They have a big bag at practice called O2, or the big bag. Jerry Glanville taking it with him wherever he is. And the first guy hits the ball carrier, and then everybody else takes a shot at it. You see him coming in? All they did was replace big bag with a body that time.
Now, Houston has used its first timeout with 3 minutes and 40 seconds to go. Unusual to see it called this early.
No, not with their... You have to remember, their style of offense. They use the red gun, which is the 4 wide receivers. They've got one of the best quarterbacks in football throwing the football down the field. If they can stop Pittsburgh here, they'll get the ball somewhere around 45-yard line with a lot of time to go on it. They get an additional timeout with a 2-minute warning. So really, they have 3 timeouts left if you count the 2-minute warning. So they haven't really sacrificed anything. Plus, I think Brister has a chance now. This is the biggest third down in, I think, Bubby Brister's short career. An opportunity in a game against a playoff opponent, his first start against the Oilers, to come up with a big play. Of course, on the other side of that, you got to look at Houston and say, we need this one to, keep in the race for the division title.
Brister has talked to the coaches on the sideline. 3:40 left in the game, 3rd and 5. Let's see what they've come up with.
Look at the animation this guy has in the pocket. I mean, you just got to love this kid. You really do. I mean, he's going to be a great one. He gets a chance to make a step up tonight.
Hodge checks with Brister. Brister in trouble, throws the ball batted up in the air. Flags are down, and it's incomplete. And a couple of questionable decisions right there.
Well, you get this situation where the fans make the difference here. Because you saw the running back trying to come up.
Illegal formation. Correction. 2 men moving. Illegal motion. Penalty is declined. 4th down.
What happens is you saw the running back coming up to try and get the signal count, and then you saw the halfback try and move over. I really believe in that situation. Look, you see the running back now from the right part of your screen. There's movement on that side as well. The halfback comes in, and nobody blocks anybody. And then Lyles knocks the ball back, and one of the offensive linemen did a smart thing. He just slaps it down.
Will they come after Newsom? Curtis Duncan is back to receive. Willie Brewery injured. He replaced the injured Kenny Johnson.
Is it dark outside?
Yes. Newsom gets it out of there. Another low line drive, and Duncan made the fair catch at the 36-yard line. A 42-yard kick and no return. It has been a game of big, big plays. Gary Anderson started with a 45-yard field goal, and Pittsburgh went up 3-0. Then Dejas tied it at 3. Then the fireworks started. Stone with a 92-yard kickoff return that made it 10-3. Rozier came back and took a pass from Moon to tie it at 10. Then Dejas added a field goal. Houston up by 3. Then Bubby Brister, 80 yards to Lewis Lipp. Then 65 yards to Lewis Lipp. White returned to favor a 90-yard kickoff return. Moon ran for 2, and then another 2-yard run by Merrill Hodge, and that's where we are. Moon, his receiver fell down, and Woodruff made the interception. As it turned out, Warren Moon was throwing to nobody. His receiver flat on his back.
Ernest Gibbons goes down and tries to make, I believe, a deep turn in. Now Woodruff he's playing zone defense all the way. Now Gibbons just steps and stumbles. Oh. The worst possible time for a receiver to catch a toe in the carpet.
Of the last 5 passes of Warren Moon, 3 have been intercepted after he went 98 straight without one. And Woodruff got his second tonight.
And he had only thrown 4 in the previous 8 games.
Now, 3:20 to go, Steeler football, and Houston has only 2 timeouts left. Carter got maybe a yard, and the Oilers will spend their second timeout. That's really not Warren Moon's
40
fault.
seconds. No, it's not. There's nothing we can do. See, if I'm the Houston Oilers, I'm not necessarily that mad because I know that Pittsburgh's offense, they have been really inept all night except for a couple big plays. So I can't see them pounding the ball out and running all this time off the clock. On the other side, my offense is very explosive, and I know we can pick up large chunks of ground. That, like you said, is not Warren's fault. The receiver fell down. A couple of the other interception, the one that Larry Griffin made,
right,
was a great defensive play. So, you know, I know we have the weapons. What we have to do is keep enough time on the clock to get our offense out there to make something happen.
If you were the Steelers right now, would you chance throwing the football?
I would not only chance it, I'd go up top deep. I really would. It's second down and long. Why not take a shot? They're going to use another timeout. Your defense is going to have to go onto the field. If nothing else, the Oilers are going to have to go 80 yards to get the best punter in football. All that stuff going through the coach's mind.
Right.
I'd put it up. I'd take a shot.
They've hit Lipp for 2 bombs tonight. Gets to Carter. Flag is down. Carter gets from the 48, maybe the 49-yard line. Grimsley makes the tackle. And the Oilers have used their last timeout.
They may not need to if it's a penalty.
Motion against Pittsburgh. And Jerry Glanville, you can see him, don't take the penalty.
Again, now this is the smart decision because what's more important...
Illegal motion, 62 offenses decline. Houston does not have to take their timeout due to the foul. Houston still has 1 timeout left.
See, what they're doing is they're smart. They call it just in case.
Sure.
And if it doesn't happen, then it's all right. But they make the good calls. Two very smart, good football teams in this game tonight. Both coaches have got their men on the field very well schooled in the rules and what they're supposed to do in certain situations.
That penalty, in essence, is a 3 timeout. 3:09 left now. 3rd and 9. Make it 3rd and 6 for the Steelers. Scoreboard incorrect.
I'd still put it up. Treat this just like you would a normal situation in the game. But don't move any of your backfield people. Everybody sit still and just snap it when Bubby's ready.
Scoreboard is incorrect. It is a 3rd and 6 situation, and now the officials will have a little conference behind the Steelers' offensive unit. Well, if next week Denver and Seattle is anything like this, we'll have another barn burner.
He exhausted. They get tired playing on the field, but, you know, up here in a game like this, you get your nerves, your neck gets all tense and tight. The officials are discussing the clock. They're talking about the 40-second clock as well as the time clock. There's the 40. It's down to 16. Now, because they stopped play, they will not push it back up to 40. 45, excuse me. They'll not push it up. They'll just leave it there. You see right above that, 3:09 is the time remaining in the game. Of course, obviously being a scoreboard, but the numbers on the left are the score of the game. And on the right is the yards to go and what yard line it's on.
Reset the 30-second clock to 30 seconds.
And they have done that. I tell you what, the clock has taken more time this year
Well, it's because of
than the instant replay.
Yeah, it's because of the new rules. See, I believe after a penalty, it goes to 30. After a play is in progress, it goes to 45 because when the ball is blown dead, they start it right away. I think they're really trying to make this game a lot more complicated than it truly has to be, Mike.
Yeah, it's tough enough without this.
And they got two clocks. They got two different kinds of rules for running in and killing a kicker. They got two different interpretations for pass interference. They got two different interpretations for grabbing a face mask. This game used to be simple.
Interpretations aside, it's 3rd and 6 for the Steelers, and they stop the clock. They stop it again.
Now, that's Houston's last timeout. They will have, in essence, one more stoppage of the clock, which will be the 2-minute warning.
Really, all they saved there was about 20 seconds because that's what the play clock was down to.
We see that there was 3:09 on the clock. There was 3:09 on the clock before this whole fiasco started here.
Yes.
The referees, you know, having a little tea party and discussing what was going on as far as the clock goes. The Oilers lost 12 seconds here. I mean, they just lost 12 seconds, and I believe that the reason
That's
that happened.
Houston's last timeout. They're out of timeout.
And I believe that it happened is I think they thought the clock would stop on a penalty. So they felt like, well, because that's the case, we don't need to use one of our timeouts.
So the Oilers out of timeout, 2:57 to go. If they stop the Steelers here, they'll certainly have plenty of time left on the clock. No timeouts notwithstanding. And here's the importance of this game. Houston with a win would go to 10-4, only one game behind Cincinnati, with Cincinnati coming in here next week to the showdown. A loss would drop them to 9-5. They'd be 2 games out of first, and then they would be battling for a playoff spot.
In either case, I think Houston, you're looking at the 3 teams that will represent the AFC in the playoffs.
I think so.
You know, in this particular, in the wild cards, 2 of those teams will be wild cards in the AFC. I believe.
Not going to come out of the West. Brisker trying to get set on 3rd and 6. Incomplete. Knocked away from Thompson by Richard Johnson. And the clock stops with 2:53 left. Now Newsom again will be under the gun. Curtis Duncan goes deep.
Now, it's 4th and 6, right? You got to make sure it's 6 yards. If it's 4th and 6, they can just turn those players up front loose on them.
Here they come. Newsom gets it out, and a beautiful high boomer. They let it go. Steelers trying to down a chance. Had a chance to down it inside the 5 and couldn't do it. Newsom with a punt that went 51 yards long and maybe that high up. And Houston will now be 80 yards away from a victory. The field goal does them no good, and they have no timeouts left. So with 2:41, you can still throw the ball over the middle. You can even still run the ball.
Oh, plenty of times. But not, Houston would only run the ball, I believe, in a short yardage situation. 2nd down and 2, 3rd down and short yardage. But they've got the 4 wide receivers.
actually 3 wide receivers, well, not 4 wide receivers, what they have, called their red gun offense.
Moon again the sign, throws sideline, complete to Duncan. Out of bounds, shy of a first down. Woodson was in the vicinity. Now the Steelers, Joseph, can't back up, can they?
No, they can't back up, but they have to be careful of. Did you see this defense? The vulnerability here are like corner routes to the inside guys or crossing patterns with these guys clearing out. This is the vulnerable part of that defense.
2nd and 3. Trying to run for the first down. He won't get there. Out of bounds, and the flag is down. A late hit by Greg Lloyd out of bounds. Oh, what a blunder. He'd already forced him to lose 2 or 3 yards, and then he hits him out of bounds.
But you see, he didn't hit him flagrantly nor intentionally. I mean, all he's doing, he doesn't try and throw a cheap shot at him. Warren doesn't go tumbling into the net.
No, it's not a cheap shot, but it's not real bright.
You're right. You got to be aware of the rules. They're going to call them.
Personal foul, 95 defense, hit the quarterback out of bounds. First down.
And that's a big play. Instead of 3rd and 5 or 6, it's a first down out of the 42.
Now, Lloyd's just got to be aware. Now, there's Moon. He's 1 step out of bounds. But I don't agree with that. I got to be honest with you. This guy, you got a football player running down the field. He can't stop automatically and say, oh, my gosh, the guy's 1 step out of bounds. It's a cheap call.
Wasn't much, was it? Moon throws, complete to Harris. Harris driven out of bounds at the 43. Gain of 14, and he stops the clock with 2:20 left.
What this does, what Houston has just done now, is they have forced Pittsburgh to tighten up their defense a little more. They're going to have to bring their guys up and put a little more pressure. And really get in the face of the receivers. If you're going to play too deep, like we showed on that 22 picture, you've got to get the front 5 guys getting a hand on the receivers and staying with them. Good job of getting out of bounds, saving that clock.
4 wide receivers, 3 go to the top of your screen. And Gibbons immediately tried to get out of bounds, tackled inbounds, a gain of 26. Well, they're making it look easy.
And there's no hurry here because they've got the 2-minute warning in their favor. That's their other timeout.
And we've reached 2 minutes. What a game. Steelers 31, Oilers 27, but Houston is driving. Game with only 2 minutes left.
This is Ernest Gibbons. You'll notice there's nobody in front of him. Everybody else has somebody in front of him. Gibbons is just going to run down and get right into this voided area. I mean, that is incredible. Watch the hold. Look, he runs scot-free down the field. Nobody lays a hand on him. He just runs the old banana. And Warren Moon, he almost drops that one. And Warren Moon just lays it off to him.
Thomas Everett must have been 50 yards from the line of scrimmage when that ball was thrown.
Well, you see, but they don't have anybody on his face at the line of scrimmage. You just can't let people line up and run down the field. They should catch big passes if you're going to let them do it.
1st and 10 at the 16. Oilers with no timeouts left. The Steelers have all 3. Moon to Johnson, out of bounds in front of Woodruff. The gain of only 3. Moon has been rarely pressured tonight. Steelers have come with either a 3 or 4-man rush, sometimes with 5, and they haven't gotten there with any of the variety.
In the previous game between these two teams, Pittsburgh got behind so much they had to try and put pressure on them, which exposed their secondary to big plays. Tonight the game has been close, and they played their style of football, but they, pretty soon they're not going to be able to back up, or else they'll be understand.
2nd and 6. Moon quickly driven, to the 4. Clock running, it'll be first and goal. Woodson made the tackle. And Moon throws it to the ground. Now that surprised me a little bit, Joe. With 1:34 to go, you've got to have the touchdown. The field goal doesn't do you any good. And instead of 4 cracks at it, he's got 3.
Yeah, but you see, Mike, you've only got 3 yards to go, okay? You throw the ball away. What's very important is that you save it. Now, right here, I want to show you this. We talked about Gibbons before. You see that? Here they are. They got everybody. There's nobody on Gibbons again. They just don't think this guy's on the football field. Moon just stands up and says, hey, here, Ernest, take this. The Steelers just don't have anybody covering. He moved over. Nobody made the adjustment.
Second and goal from the 3.
Plenty of time for the 3 yards. The old option play by Warren Moon with a camera on the goal line. You bet all that ball has to do is break the plane, and he's in.
First time in his career, Warren Moon has rushed for 2 touchdowns in a game. And he has put his team back on top in a wild one. Then Dejas will try to make it a 3-point spread. And does. Warren deserves the rest.
And I'll guarantee you he called that on the sidelines because he's thrown those interceptions. He says, look, I put us in this hole. They've run the option all year very effectively. This time there's Rozier behind him. He just comes down. He's just optioning on the end. The end goes out to take Rozier. He does a good job of putting his head down. He's a big guy. He just lays his head down and runs in there.
I don't think Jerry Glanville is thinking about his Elvis memorabilia right now.
No, not worried at all.
The situation is 1:30 to go in the ballgame. Plenty of time. The Steelers have all 3 timeouts left, and all they need is a field goal to force overtime.
That's right. Changed the entire thinking of what the Houston Oilers had to do on that particular drive. Now, Pittsburgh, you've got one of the best kickers in football who has excellent range. So you figure all you have to do is drive the ball to the other team's 25 or 30-yard line. You got to figure on the kickoff, the worst start you're going to get, hopefully, is around the 20. So you're talking 45 yards in 1 minute and 30 seconds. The 2-minute drill is a misnomer now. Most coaches only run it to 1:30. And this is what Bubby Brister has, is 1:30.
Stone and Woodson are deep. Woodson 2 yards deep. And he'll stay there. An impressive drive by the Houston Oilers. And Woodson starting to get into it with a couple of the Oilers. Now they back off. 80 yards and only 111. 8 plays. Warren Moon ran for 4 yards on that drive. Pass for another 61.
That was a Pro Bowl drive.
Wasn't it ever?
It really was. I mean, and you know, I don't know whether to credit Houston's offense or the inability of Pittsburgh's defense to put somebody on the nose of Ernest Gibbons. 2 big plays there. The guy runs scot-free down the football field. This is what's known as coming of age. Where he grows a little hair on his chest.
Four-man rush. Lift, and it knocked away. Excellent defense by Keith Bostic.
And that's a mismatch you really want. You want Keith Bostic, who's a strong safety, to cover Louis Lips, who's a bona fide wide receiver. Now, Brister does it. He throws the ball well, but he doesn't throw it outside enough. He throws it inside. And he could have had that one picked off.
Second and 10. Three-man rush, no blitz. Underneath to Carter. Carter trying to get to the 30. He's got the first down up the sideline. Donaldson forced him out of bounds, but he got to midfield. What a play by Carter. 32-yard gain.
Well, that's not, you got to understand, Houston right now is playing something that they're not comfortable with. They're playing zone defense. There you see Brister just firing right up the middle. Now, Rodney Carter does a good job really finding, like a kick returner, like a picket line, looking for the guys going down the field. And Jeff Donaldson bulldogs him out of bounds.
And Hodge and Lip threw great blocks downfield. The ball just outside the Houston 48, 1:14 left. What a ball game. Brister to Hodge. He gets out of bounds. Gained maybe a yard. Robert Lyles was out there on the cover. They've got to have at least another 15 yards to give Anderson a shot.
Oh, yeah, and I think he's got to throw the ball in the middle of the football field. I don't believe he can keep throwing it outside. There's just not enough room there. Circle the back around like he did last time, dump it to the back, and let him go. You've got plenty of time out, plenty of time on the clock, and you only need to pick up 15 or 20 yards to give him a real bona fide shot. Like I said before, Houston is basically a man-to-man football team. They're doing something now they're not comfortable with, and that's playing zone defense.
Second and 9 with 1 minute 9 seconds left. Four-man rush. Brister trying to get to his six, dragged out of bounds at the 40. And the Steeler bench upset about the fact that he was tackled out of bounds, and William Fuller got over there. But Fuller had a hold of him before he went out of bounds.
We're talking about, here's what the zone defense of the Houston Oilers looks like. The linebackers, instead of matching up man-to-man on each people, they'll drop back. Everybody goes to a zone. Everybody just sort of hangs back, and there's no place for Brister to throw the football. They all drop back, and they're all in an area where they don't have anybody to throw the ball to.
Third down and 2. Hodge on the delay. He's got the first down to the Houston 36. See if the Steelers use the timeout. And they do. Meade and Grimsley made the tackle. SportsCenter, of course, follows our telecast. You'll be brought up to date on everything. And you have to believe that Gary Anderson wants another crack at this. He hit from 45, but missed from 39 and had a 48-yarder block. This telecast is presented by authority of the National Football League and is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use without the express written consent of the National Football League is prohibited.
That's right. Without permission, you get yourself in trouble.
I don't know what they do to you. Now, this is more like the old Steeler-Oilers game.
Yeah.
Hard-hitting, intense, big plays.
All we need is for a ball to bounce up in the air and have Franco Harris come running out of the sideline to catch it and run in. It'll be,
We'll really have a story then.
And we're talking about another immaculate reception.
This is why a lot of people can't coach. Moments like this. Gets a little tight.
This is where coaches and quarterbacks, the coaches live and die with the guys under the center because it's their show right now.
First and 10. Brister over the middle, complete to Carter. Carter to the 25, to the 20. Another first down and well within Anderson's field goal range.
Okay, Brister's just going to go with it. He doesn't want to stop the clock. He got the signal from the sidelines. He gets everybody ready. When he swings that right arm around in motion,
He's just trying to kill the clock.
And he throws the ball down on the ground. That will make it 2nd and 10. Carter has been brilliant. 2 plays, catching the ball underneath and picking up additional yards.
It's exactly the point we talked about, Mike. We saw in that illustration the depth of the linebackers in their drop in the zone defense. Remember, very uncharacteristic, very unusual situation for those Houston linebackers to be in, dropping back in a pass cover. Carter makes the catch. He just picks his way through the trees.
Bubby Brister came into this ballgame, Joe, with one of the lowest passing efficiency ratings in the league. How about these numbers? 16 out of 35, 296 yards. He's done a great job tonight.
He has. He's really proven, I think, that he's a star on the rise.
And he's back to throw. Brister going for the end zone and throws it away. Well, I got to say, I'm a little surprised by that one. There is a penalty flag down near the 15-yard line. Why wouldn't you just run the ball into the middle?
Because you're not trying just for the field goal. You're trying to win this football game. You don't want to necessarily put it in overtime.
You're right.
Holding, 93 defense, 5 yards, automatic first down.
Robert Lyles holds.
5
You're
yards.
right. That's all I was concentrating on was the tying field goal. They're going for the win.
Well, you're 3 and 10. What do you you holding it close to the vest for? I mean, come December 18th, your car's packed, your truck's running, and you're heading up to go skiing near Pittsburgh. I mean, that's all there is to it. So why not? But he did a smart thing. Nobody was open. He airmailed.
Automatic first down at the 16. 27 seconds left. 2 timeouts for the Steelers. Brister to Hodge. Touchdown. Holy cow, what a drive by Bubby Brister and the Steelers offense. They go 80 yards, primarily throwing to the back, and take the lead over the Oilers. What a great drive.
It really was. We talked about Houston giving them so much time to score, they had to be real careful about just what happened. Didn't even use their timeout. They still had 2 left. And they managed to put the ball in. Again, I think they caught Houston in an unnatural defense, and that being a zone.
And Merrill Hodge broke 3 tackles from the 5-yard line on in. 37-34. Anderson will try to make it 38, and they are stunned on the Oilers sideline. Hits the upright. And if you believe in miracles, the field goal would tie the ball game.
Now you start saying, all right, do we squib kick it? And if you do squib kick it, maybe they get the ball around the 35-yard line. They hit 2 big plays. Don't forget, their kicker's no slouch either.
Right.
So, it brings up a whole different situation. On this particular play, Hodge is just going to come out and circle as the defense drops back. He's just going to catch the ball right in the middle and then just blow it right into the end zone. He just circles right out of the backfield, makes a little move. There's nobody there, and he just puts his head down and heads for the big white stripe. Again, Houston, John Grimsley, number 59, dropping back. Good job by that Steeler offensive line. He just makes the catch, tucks the ball away, still doesn't really have it, finally puts it away, and gets in.
Merrill Hodge with his 3rd receiving touchdown of the season, and it's 37-34. That extra point missed, by the way, snaps a 201 straight string of Gary Anderson, the 4th NFL kicker to ever kick more than 200 in a row.
Boy, it has been a bizarre night. I mean, we're seeing kickoffs since 1973 year, and 201 kicks. Just before I was born, he was kicking.
The last 2 drives, Houston has gone 80 yards in 8 plays. The Steelers went 80 yards in 8 plays.
Houston took 1 minute and 11 seconds, and Pittsburgh took 1 minute and 10 seconds.
Here's the kickoff, and Harris will down at the end zone. So no time goes off the clock. No timeouts left for Houston. They'll start from their 20. and a loss would drop them 2 games behind Cincinnati into a tie with Cleveland.
If I'm Pittsburgh and I'm the defensive coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers, I got to say to myself, Ernest Givens has run in the middle of this defense a couple of times, wide open with not a soul around him. If he hits 2 of those passes, they are within field goal range with time to kick it. I would, if I'm going to play defense and put the 2 safeties back, I want every receiver with somebody on their nose dogging them down the field.
I tell you, Joe, I'd give him the throw over the middle with 20 seconds left and no timeout.
Now, because he could catch it and head right out of bounds.
Well, that's true. Moon throws short and incomplete, intended for Harris. And they had Greg Lloyd out there as the linebacker uncovered. Took 6 seconds on that play, 14 left. And one more toss, and they are going to be down to the Hail Mary. Sports Center coming up after our delicate.
I'll tell you what they're going to try and do. No, remember Miami, San Diego, a few years ago? The old hook and lateral?
Mm-hmm.
Fine.
All right.
I think that's, that's been buried for a little while. This is a night for first.
Yes,
why don't we get this one out of the closet? Let's see what happens.
Hats off to the Steelers for that last drive against a terrific Houston defense.
And hats off to Houston for the one before it.
You bet. Warren Moon throws short again and incomplete to the 31-yard line. Now there's 9 seconds left.
That was going to be the hook and lateral. You saw Alan Pinkett come into the picture. If the pass was completed, he was going to try and lateral to him, and actually had a pretty good play going.
If they complete this one inbounds and try to run the play, it will probably be the last one.
Here's what it looks like. He'll go down, Duncan will go down, run the hook. Pinkett will come on out here and try and hopefully have him lateral it back so he can head down the field. Now, there goes that. Now, here comes Pinkett out of the backfield. You see him right in the middle. Actually, if they'd have completed that, they'd have had something.
9 seconds left. Moon throws it up for grabs. Woodruff back there nearly got his 3rd interception, knocked it away. Intended for Curtis Duncan, and that's the ball game. The Houston Oilers have been upset by the Pittsburgh Steelers, 37-34. And Jerry Glanville came to the center of the field and shook hands with Chuck Cole. That did not happen the last time these teams met. Some ball games, Joe. I mean, full of all sorts of fireworks.
All sorts of firsts, too. You just mentioned the biggest one. Coach Landreau and Coach Knoll exchanging pleasantries at the middle of the field.
Bubby Brister, who had 311 yards and 3 touchdown passes on the night, will have a chance to celebrate as the Steelers win it over Houston, 37-34. For Joe Theismann, this is Mike Patrick saying goodnight from the Astrodome. We'll see you next Sunday from Seattle, the Broncos and the Seahawks. Now back to the studio, Bill Patrick and John Saunders for Sports Center.